Hello and welcome to the first beta episode of the Jailhouse Parlor podcast. This episode we have on Trent, Evan, Tyler, and Melanie with your host Aaron. We hope you enjoy JHP's first ever recording. It's a beta, so look forward to the full premiere coming sometime early next month. We'd also like to give a shout out to any small businesses who may be listening in. Your ad could be here, where I'm talking. We'd also like to give a reminder that the October annual is in the works and is looking to be another great one for the books. I'm looking forward to catching up with a lot of good friends and a lot of people that I haven't seen in some of them over a year. We've also got some new activities planned, so if you're going to be there, we really look forward to seeing you and catching up. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. I have been uploading my streaming sessions, playing around with OBS, League of Legends, and Overwatch, trying to wrangle all that together into something palatable. So if you want to, go on ahead and check out that madness. And without any more delay, here is the Jailhouse Parlor podcast's first beta test episode.
I like old Simpsons, but I'm not like one to keep up with it like every episode because there's so much that happens in that.
I finally did that with Family Guy, and I was very disappointed. In the last two seasons.
Live.
Yeah.
Or at least we're recording. So
what's
We're doing something.
Is it recording?
it's recording now.
We're doing something.
We're on and good. I actually had to,
live on public
Wait.
radio.
I fucked up.
Yeah, I knew it. See, we
Now
were
we're
muted.
live.
Aaron, you were muted.
No, we were all muted. On the left there, that's
Aaron.
all of us. On the right there, that's Melanie.
Aaron, you muted.
Perfect.
We're live on public radio.
Does it sound like I'm on old-time radio?
When you talk like that, it does. Otherwise, no.
No.
The soldiers are back. World War II is over. Everyone has chlamydia. Heroin's legal, and we're all drinking moonshine because
Actually,
prohibition's for
alcohol
bitches.
It's very unfortunate there's no video on my face right now to react to all the profundity that comes through your goddamn face.
It's just gonna be a whole podcast just full of just the whole thing is just references. That's all.
Oh, it's just nothing but references.
Yeah, that's it.
There's no substance. You just either get it or you don't.
There's no
That's
actual
weird.
there's no actual original
like, the only
content.
people
It's
that are
just
gonna enjoy this podcast are all of our friends, which is like 2 people. So like,
Whoa.
Isn't that like a majority of
whether you're a
millennials?
Honduran cleaning woman
Oh, God.
wondering if she's allowed to change the channel, or a cat alone in an apartment, we appreciate both of our viewers.
Well, she's listening, so she knows English better, but
No,
we don't
she
speak it-
doesn't.
we don't speak so good.
No, you don't. You really.
Hola.
Just need to add video to it so that it has
Yeah, but-
pictures of everything that we're talking about.
Basically.
Yeah.
There's
Is that a margarita bottle?
There is a whole other level of
Well, that's
production.
where you just get
Yeah,
editors
my
to
water
throw-
bottle.
Don't water my ass.
Yeah, it's,
Get this guy's a
it's
Pepto-Bismol.
Mr. and Mrs. T, sweet and sour, and it's my water bottle at work.
Look,
I'm free.
It's Tijuana tap water, all right?
It's Russian water. It's vodka.
That's just potato juices.
Potato juice.
It's a treat I put my kids to bed with. I'm just kidding. Nobody's gonna have sex with me.
I'll suck your dick, but I'm not gay.
Some more references. What are y'all's names again?
Evan.
Tyler.
Evan, Tyler. Okay.
What's your name?
Trent.
How's it be?
Nice to meet you guys too. I don't know. I don't know if I've met you guys before. I haven't know.
You were at the annual
Yeah.
last year.
If
so
I was at the party, then yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's-
recognize you. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a bad thing.
A little more beard this year.
I was at a few of them, but I don't remember everybody I met.
Were you at last year's? Yeah, you were. You were for a
I
little
think
bit.
so.
I'm realizing I'm getting a set of coasters for this room.
Oh yeah, I
Mhm.
brought my
'Cause I don't wanna-
lemonade and Jesus Christ.
I don't give a
Jesus.
give too many shits. But I also don't want to have to deal with like the clickety clackety of like bringing the mason jars in here.
Tijuana tap water.
So
Just makes you look
It's
like
funny,
such a fucking alcoholic.
Well, one of the guys that I actually work
I mean,
with,
we are.
he works for an entertainment, or he works for like a production company like that deals with different forms of art, and he's actually, it's really fucking cool for him because he's actually working directly with the, oh shit, Joe,
Joe Rogan?
no, not Joe Rogan.
no.
No,
He's a tight
no,
sex with that
no. But actually, it's
Yeah.
still a cool one. He was from I can't think of his fucking name. I'm terrible with names, but he was from NSYNC.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Joey
Okay.
Fatone.
Joey Fatone. Yeah, he's working directly with
local
them,
hero, man.
and he's actually working directly with his new podcast that they're working on right now.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's
Moist.
pretty interesting.
All I get out of is Joey Fatone's doing stuff with someone you know. but it's like
Yeah, but
the
it's just
process.
interesting to hear about the process, and
Oh, yeah.
it just
Yeah, no, I can break down this process.
Yeah.
There's a lot of exchange of money, a lot of returns to Amazon. It's like, oh, I didn't need that. Thanks, Arius.
No, that's why I didn't invest in sound equipment when doing film. Just like, I don't know half of this shit. I'm just gonna ask somebody who knows what they're doing before I start spending money I don't have.
I have a shotgun mic on my camera. That's about the best audio quality you're gonna get.
I mean, that's better than the camera mic.
Yeah, no, the A2's. Well, I mean, the A2's
Like on the webcam
normal
mic?
audio is like.
Or on the
Just-
DSLR
Oh,
cam.
Most
DSLR
camera
one.
mics,
Yeah.
they do the job. They work well enough. And
Poopy.
if you're good with like manipulating
They're
sound
poopy.
on the set, what?
You're muted.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about that mic.
It's okay.
No,
Do I need to
Chris.
bring it closer to me?
No.
What?
Her headset right now, she hears all of our voices twice, more or less, with
Yeah.
like probably like a slight delay.
So she has voices in her head.
They
Our
have-
voices
They have
specifically.
pills for that.
No, they're not in my head. They're in my ears.
Oh.
She kicked them out,
Evicted.
more or less.
Lakeside
but-
property.
But it's just like if you're good with
I
manipulating.
mean, I have a patent that's heavily chemicaled.
And you were the one who was worried that you were gonna flood during the hurricane.
Dude,
He's near a body of water.
yeah, like
That's
it's
not,
not a
a
flood
body of water. That's a fucking puddle for children to run in the summertime.
Yeah,
But
but when
they
a
don't.
hurricane's like, oh,
Yeah, because they go in one side
Hold on.
with 2 legs, they come out the other with 3 arms.
well,
They
his
fucking
situation's
go.
like that episode of SpongeBob where it's like, what would be worse? Or it's just like,
oh, I'm sorry, did you
No.
drop something?
no, what was that? It's like the 2 giant paint bubbles.
Oh god, yeah.
It's like, what could be worse than 1 giant puddle? Hurricanes. Oh, I know! 2 giant puddles! Ah!
Fuck.
I don't think this pond could get any bigger. Nonsense! And the next thing you know, his fucking shit's flooded.
Jeez.
My favorite SpongeBob episode was when they lit a fire underwater and SpongeBob got
The CNPFRESONG song.
no. The one where SpongeBob was like, "Wait, we're underwater. How do we have a fire going right now?"
I think it was-
Fire goes out.
I think SpongeBob lit the fire. Patrick actually asked that question though. It was the one where he's like the
Are
candy
we checking
bar.
references now, Evan?
I'm actually gonna look because I don't remember that fucking episode at all.
No, but yeah, it was along that
I
idea.
think I had
So
a
how does that one
stroke
sound?
sometime between then.
Tyler gets a little peaky occasionally.
Do I get too?
Too loud, and I think it's probably too close to your face when you get loud.
No, we can adjust probably the equalizer for that because you're number. Which number are you? Fuck.
Soothing tones of
I need to get color tape.
Yeah, that was,
Soothing sounds of what from SpongeBob?
ASMR.
You know, that's something that just sounds and feels creepy.
No.
Honey,
Is this the
I don't need you pretending to do ASMR right now in front of other people.
I'm just gonna
Is this
slowly
the crusty ground?
stroke
No,
your
this is
toes.
Patrick.
It's like, oh, hey.
ASMR.
It's like, hey, let me do something sexual to you in front of your friends that you don't even like to begin with.
ASMR is not supposed to be sexual.
It feels like
I'm
it.
just gonna suck on your. I'm just gonna lick your big
So-
toe and then suck it.
So SpongeBob
Oh,
is.
yeah, Evan licks toes.
Hell yeah, suck toes. Doom fist.
So SpongeBob ASMR, but bubble bath's giving you the order.
Bubble
Bubble
bath.
bath.
I don't use
Baths,
deodorant and I
baths.
only take bubble baths. Can't wait for the next season of that too.
Oh, Big Mouth is my heart.
Oh no.
Like, nice hot bubble bath.
is that
Big
from the
Bubbles.
same show that you?
That's from Big Mouth.
From Big Mouth. Okay,
Yes.
I don't know what that is. Either.
That's okay. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
They have
Okay.
2 seasons and a Valentine's special.
The art style is fucking disturbing,
Yeah, that's the point. It's also what gives Nick such a big mouth.
and everybody else too.
Yeah.
But at least it's warm around the fire. Hey, if we're underwater, how can there be a...
Well, we better watch out because Viacom's gonna be smelling that a mile away.
Yeah, please. I'm not trying to get money out of this. I'm just trying to make sure it's up.
No, but Viacom lawyers are.
Nah.
Can I take your hat,
Bastard.
sir?
Yeah.
Just talk
Okay,
like a
that's enough.
weenie.
We
Oh,
have
this-
General.
It's a corner of this
35.
podcast. It's in its own little world of stupid shit.
It just keeps on going back, and all we're
Yeah,
just
Nietzsche
watching.
And Melanie just look at each other like, well,
It's like
this is a show. It's a good show, man. I'm sad this is.
Yeah, I'm here to provide the stupid.
Bottle
You still
full
got
of
my
what?
bottle full of rum somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right
Yeah.
there.
You want to break that open for this?
Oh God, no.
I forgot to bring.
Oh,
the
that's for a
alcohol.
special occasion.
This is a special occasion. This is the
Yeah.
very first podcast recorded
Look,
for JHP.
with alcohol, everything's a special occasion.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
like
I'll go get the Peruvian shot glasses.
it's like what the United
The
States
Peruvian
is supposed to
shot
be.
glasses.
Every
They are. Tiffany got me some Peruvian shot glasses.
Okay.
She was in Peru.
Sure.
It's like what the United States is supposed to be. Every holiday is just
Oh,
supposed
look
to be an
at that.
excuse for alcohol, when in reality people are just using an excuse to get offended.
You can't get that anymore.
Oh shit. Oh my
Oh, cool.
god.
That was a $95 bottle of rum that I got in Havana.
Triple aged barrel rum.
Mm-hmm.
And you got it in Havana? you
Each
said?
aging process is 7 years, so that is a 21-year age.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do we just want to start playing Sea of Thieves? I need to actually get another group to play Sea of
I'll
Thieves.
ask
with.
why the rum's always gone, but we're gonna learn.
I'll be singing Pirates of the Caribbean the whole time.
No, it sucks because we had a second bottle of this that we came home with, but
Gone.
it got mixed up with someone else's on the ship.
Uh,
So they delivered us
someone
the
wants to take
wrong,
pictures of these so I can throw them somewhere. So we're gonna have the half shot for Melanie. That's Mom's. That's actually engraved for Mom. So that's for Mama. And then here are the ones that Tiffany got me in Peru.
Oh,
nice.
shit.
Cool.
Yeah, they have like a leather wrapping and whatnot around them.
That looks awesome.
So 3 for the guests, 1 for me, and then Melanie gets the half shot with a water chaser. Scream.
I just mentioned to Evan. Now we just gotta start playing Sea of Thieves.
Screw that.
Oh, what?
I watched the.
Have you tried
What's his
it?
face? Zaire? Zaire's who I watched?
Sure.
No, not Zaire. That's who we play with. No, there's one guy.
Was it our Zaire?
It's an Australian streamer.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember his name right now. Xander. No.
Nope, wrong one.
Right, mate. I don't think that one's it.
He only plays Nintendo games, and maybe Overwatch.
And Beat Saber.
Who is?
Yeah, no.
Fuck ton of Beat Saber.
Oh,
Dude,
no,
Arius scares me at Beat Saber.
Dude,
Like,
Brower sometimes scares me at Beat Saber. Like,
I got halfway through Expert Crab Rave on Beat Saber, and it just kicked my dick inside out. I'm just like, screw this. I love this song, but fuck me. How am I doing
Dude,
this?
Chris sometimes gets
Zilbrad.
scary
That's
at
his
that.
name. Zilbrad. High energy, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, but well, we came across
I
Sea of
think your
Thieves.
face
with
matches the
that.
rum very well.
That's classy as fuck right there, actually. That's the classiest your face has ever looked.
Damn.
And that's exactly why.
That needs to be a trademark sound effect.
Yeah, that's gonna be every time someone subscribes.
Just
No, I don't have opening music. I just have that sound.
Da-da-da-da-da.
I like how you were about to attempt it and you're just like that sound. Not even gonna try.
No, that'd be like Smosh when they did Shut Up, but just do that instead. Damn, I smell it already.
That is a ballsy shot. Everyone else gets below the rim. I'm like right fucking at it.
It means it's the perfect pour.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Perfection is for you. Everyone else is trying really hard.
Make sure you put your mouth on
Even
it before
myself.
you take it.
What? I feel like I'm missing something here.
What did you just suggest?
I feel sexually assaulted.
Welcome to my life. But what did you just say to him?
Sit on the couch.
Just don't get it on the mic.
Yeah, no.
And
That is smooth as shit.
yeah, that doesn't have any bullshit to it.
Mm-mm.
No.
Solid.
That's why I love Cuban rum. Can't get that shit anymore though.
What happened?
They re-embargoed Cuba because
Again?
because they found out that the Cuban government was supplying the Venezuelan government against those rebels again.
Are we surprised?
So Trump called a full embargo back on the country.
So I
Yeah, because that always has a history of working really well.
It didn't fuck them over the last 40 years. Let's try it again.
yeah. There's a certain amount of.
I mean, they'll just get a president that never dies again. Castro.
Wait, is
They've
he?
got some
No, he
dude.
died.
No, they,
No, he died recently, but it's just like
But
every,
like from like
No, after
natural.
he- yeah, after
every
he-
time the U.S. kept trying to kill him, he's just like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
He probably said it in English too, just to
You
be
know,
a
I'm gonna
dick.
follow that with a small hit of caramel tobacco.
Oh, Lord.
We get it, you big.
the stare that he's getting.
There's no smoking in this house, boy.
It's water vapor.
Bullshit.
Bitch. It's like a hookah without
Actually,
a
well,
hook.
that's where I'm mildly because we actually went and hung out at what was that What was that hookah bar we went to?
Basha.
We went to Basha there, University. No, University and Dean on the wings side.
Yeah.
Across from the Publix.
Oh, it's the primary hookah bar lounge.
You know that shitty strip mall right there by like the
Where Billy and them live.
Oh yeah, they're down by like Lake George.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
You said it's at University of
University
Dean.
and Dean.
Yeah,
you
University and
turn
Dean.
left on Dean.
Okay, let's take University heading towards UCF.
Oh yeah, I know where.
Yeah.
You can either just go past Dean or make the right on Dean, but it's that corner spot right there with that strap bottom mall. There's a Wing Street right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a hookah bar back in there. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there was one in there. Because
Yeah.
Three Kings used to be right behind that smoke shop that's in there at the very end.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking like the Publix
Yeah.
Plaza.
the
No,
Publix mall.
opposite
Oh,
side.
the opposite mall.
Cross
oh,
University.
Okay.
Yeah, go across University.
The one right by the
Is it bar? Is it Irish bar?
garage shop
Is it
or
garage?
gas shop.
Okay, I know which
Yeah.
one you're talking about.
Yeah. No, we went there. I was watching playoffs. Yeah, I was watching playoffs on Overwatch while she was just chilling out. And what flavor did we get?
I don't remember. We got one of the specialty flavors.
Yeah, one of their made in house. So
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's in DC. There's a shit ton of like everywhere. Like
hookah shops.
Yeah, just fucking everywhere.
It's very low key,
It-
and you can get like only like
yeah.
a slight buzz. So like you're good to just hang out for hours and then be able to drive home,
Mm.
which is like it's like a really pretty solid appeal. As opposed to like I'm at the bar. I'm there for a couple hours. Could either drive home safe or could die.
Mhm. It's still not my thing because like I just don't
Oh no,
smoke anything.
you're so
but
you're the straightest guy in this room actually. Like no drugs, no alcohol, no extramarital affairs.
no, it's not. I drink, but
He's about as
it's
straight as your graphics card.
That's crooked as fuck. And that's weird as fuck.
There's a tiny little 2-degree
yeah.
difference. Like, fuck.
I know Phil's somewhere listening to this podcast going, I'm just sitting there just, ow. Because he's working on servers, like rebuilding servers or something like that. And so he's just probably sitting there typing away, and you just do that music, oh. His dick just shrivels inward a little bit.
Oh,
The
God.
entire CPU just crashed.
Thanks, Evan. I have a clitoris now.
But so big we could call it a chode.
It's not far from a chungus. At least,
No, just it's like.
okay, your sound effects are too on the spot.
you just need to get.
Why do we have a Michael Winslow on set?
No, I need to get one mic. I need Evan in a soundproof room to just spit out sound.
You just need a soundboard. You just.
Yeah,
that's
it's a
all you
soundboard.
need.
It's all Evan's voice.
Yeah.
It's all Evan's tongue play. Like,
And whenever Evan's absent, you have the soundboard, like
Yeah,
a fucking
yeah.
radio station.
yeah, and I've named the soundboard better than Evan.
Damn.
This one's on command. The other one has to have a pulse and bullshit.
Gotta feed it.
It'll be great though when you're
Just give it a
dead.
shot of rum and just.
No, Evan, check it. When you're dead, I can still go whatever the fucking sound is. Like, there you are. You're alive again, but through my soundboard.
You just gotta play those at his funeral.
I will never die. I'm a god.
Do you know what it fucking reminds me of? You remember those half balls that you would flip and put down?
Yes.
And they
Yeah,
would
the
pop?
poppers. The poppers. Yeah.
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 Reminds me of that goddamn shit.
Damn it. I'm not happy.
There's just gonna be a random point in the podcast where you just hear a thud on the table. It's
No,
like
no,
up there.
no. If I could, man, I don't even know. Because I'm not in the mood for editing these days. I haven't even edited like the gaming streams.
Oh,
Other than
well, thank God. You better edit that last one we had because we missed the first time it happened, but the
Oh.
second time it was
the one
said
with
it got
Josh?
picked up. No.
Oh, with you?
Yeah.
I don't know which one that was.
The one where I didn't know Vic was half black.
Oh,
That one, you idiot.
I'd have to go back and figure out which one that was.
If y'all saw Evan's face,
It's like a week ago.
you could see the
Dude,
face where he's really holding
I've
himself
all
accountable.
this week.
No, I really did because
No.
one told me Vic was half black, and then the
Yeah, but
certain
Vic don't
word
get-
slipped out by accident.
Oh,
Vic
boy!
took time, and I was like,
Evan, chill out.
and I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
No, like, and here's the thing: Vic doesn't care. Like, you need to remember that in like the Discord, Soul Titty Chris and Vic, they don't give a shit. So you're only worrying about me blooping out your toasters,
Yeah.
so that you don't get like found out.
Thank God for toasters. No, can we just record like if we ever like say something so fucking heinous on
No, I'll just
stream?
put your knocking with your
Just
mouth
the-
sound.
just the, man, look at this mother right over here.
That's our bleep instead of like the Comedy Central just beep or just no sound, just in the blanking out. We just have your thonking coming through every time. just prep. Son of a.
So other than like this, like obviously this is your first one for the podcast. Like you mentioned that you're also recording other shit as well.
There's other shit I want to do.
We're attempting. It's scary.
I know you've talked about it before. I mean, like even a year ago when you and I were talking.
Yeah.
Like,
No, there's other shit I do want to do. It's just that a lot of things right now have been stabilizing.
mm-hmm.
Especially in regards to like the hurricane's been like a week. Trying to make sure our finances are healthy is another, because we have to play what's fair. Though she makes like twice what I make, but she has a master's and she works for a big company, and I choose not to, so I work pest control instead, or before when I was working like pharmacy stuff. So like my ass is making, I think the math now is like under $11 an hour for sure, and I have yet to like get a second paycheck just to like get full math on it, because I'm only paid like on the 15th and the 30th, but then it's like salary. So it's one of those where if like I get enough work done that I'm not in trouble, then I can get home by like 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I have to be up at 5 like Monday through Friday, as opposed to when I was doing the pharmacy tech stuff, it was like 1 hour one way. Like I'd have to be like leaving at 9 and be at work by like 10, walk in at 10:18 or something like that, but I wouldn't leave work till like 7, and I wouldn't be home till like 8.
Right.
So like I'm trading off like a good amount of money for a much better quote unquote lifestyle,
And also less gas.
and less gas because I get a work truck.
Mm-hmm.
So we have yet to go through a month, like September will probably be it. One solid month where I'm doing like basically nothing but the work truck to go to and from, with just the commute.
Right.
And that could take out $90 to $180, because 180 was our math for like February when we were running big budget. So if I could save my ass, close to $150 a month on personal gas, because my car we just use it on the weekends.
Right.
That could balance out a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was sitting at like $600 profit a month. But with the pay reduction, it sits at like $500 or $400.
Well,
And
then
the
as
Airbnb
soon
room's
as-
been being shitty too, so back and forth.
Also, as soon as you get to the point of not doing termites and actually spraying.
Yeah, when I get to spraying and having commission work, which is like the business finds and like here's the work, go do the job, you'll get the commission, then it bumps up.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, right now I'm just doing Centricon, which is just go to properties, check their little green stations, make sure the wood, like change out the wood, but if the wood has termites, then get it set to kill the queen and go from there. Like it's very good brain dead work, which is what I've been looking for since I graduated. It was just brain dead work that
you don't really have to put much.
I don't want to have to put a lot of effort in at my 40-hour a week when I've got shit at home to do.
That's why I really didn't fist.
And that's the reason why you haven't, like, because you have your business degree, obviously. Like, we have the same degree.
Yeah, we have the same degree.
That's why you haven't pursued anything within the business realm.
I worked for, like, I treat, like, my time in retail as, like, my time doing corporate work, even though it was just retail. And I'd spent enough time between then and then also when I did the pharmacy job for another big corporation where I was like, I'm tired of working for companies where it's the big head up top that set a very bad precedent and a very bad culture, to where everyone else, even leadership that are like my managers or my supervisors, have no power to make our lives better. Or the culture and the training for the managers up to the point has only yielded like one good manager that I had, and he left to go do other things.
Right.
So there's a very, like, and this is my own preach point with like Simon Sinek trying to like revolutionize or redo how business does itself in America. Is like, I just choose not to. Like, I'm at the point where I'd sooner do work for myself and either. So, like, I'd go get an electrician's, like, apprenticeship. Is, like, on the list. Because if I can be be an electrician, I just have to find work.
You can actually probably ask my stepdad for that.
Yeah, as well. So, like, and that's where with doing the pest control thing, as my boss told me at interview, it's like, if you can't get a job in the first 2 weeks of moving anywhere as a pest control guy with, like, good experience and you did well, there's something wrong with you. Because everywhere in the world there's a pest problem.
Yeah, especially here.
Yeah, termites and everything in Florida because it's always warm, so they don't have to deal with it.
Right.
You can get to like wildlife with what the company provides in terms of services. So like cage work, bait work, spray work, fertilizer. So like as much as it is like a drop in pay, it's also basically like here's another skill set I can take when like we move to Austin. And, she can probably work from home and I can just, find pest control work or do just contract work of like, or just do
Contractual
cash
stuff,
jobs or
right.
something. Like,
You have plenty of pest work in that area.
yeah,
Especially.
yeah, it's Texas, so it's like
Yeah.
here, but without you don't drown while walking around.
Right.
So
So you-
scorpions over there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just essentially adding skill sets to make it
Yeah.
to where you have more options wherever you go.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like I really like the idea of being able to have like a nice big workshop like my dad does,
Mhm.
but actually like really use it like 9 to 5 ish kind of. Because my dad has a half-life. One's down here Monday through like Thursday morning. The other half is up in his property, where he's actually built everything from the deck on his trailer, which I hate to call it a trailer because it is a fucking home, to his actual workshop, which is like just really set up, and he built everything. And you sit there and you look at it like you could do anything: welding work, metal work,
Mhm.
woodwork, everything. Like the only thing that's missing is like just a big saw table.
Yeah.
Because he does paint and body work. He's got a lift out front with a hanger over it, so he can literally just lift your van, do oil change.
Mm-hmm.
So like between
Cool.
all of that and whatever else that I'm sort of I could either learn to do by myself. Like I even had spent a spell with my uncle, so I know more or less the step game to make knives.
Mhm.
And one fun thing that I learned with my uncle Nicky was how to actually take like a train spike and just blacksmith it into
Edgar.
like and then and heat it up and corkscrew and turn it into a knife.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
So like, and the only issue with that is that I didn't get a good sealant on it, so now it's gonna rust slightly. So I need to like,
Mhm.
I need to go brush through with a metal brush to clean off all the paint.
Yeah.
Are you turning Edgar into almost meat?
Yes.
Hey, your T-bone has a face.
Moo.
Move,
bitch.
What's more? That's dope.
But yeah, so like,
That is dope.
what's funny is that you can buy train spikes.
To make steak out of you.
Relatively.
It's a
I imagine you can buy
okay.
them
Okay, I'll
both.
hold it, but take a pic of that bullshit.
Make goddamn steak out of you.
That's more.
I'm freezing my fucking udders off.
Shut up.
God, so cold.
But yeah, so like, so Airbnb, while it has really good perks as being sort of a rental replacement, more or less,
Mhm.
because it's easier to do with guests than it is to do with tenants. One thing that Airbnb is trying to really push for is for experiences, and so what looks to be the case is that you can get like a batch of these for pretty cheap on Amazon, and I don't think it's really gonna matter if like unless they're requesting for high quality steel, like a high quality pick. You can basically just charge probably like $50 for the day, and if you've got a good setup with like either the right gas, propane, or whatnot, to get that red hot, have the anvil, which is like dirt cheap anyway, have like the set of tools and the vise, and like the one specific thing that, because what you do is that you vise this in,
Mhm.
and you take this little like double hand tool,
Yeah.
and just run it and just twist the hell. And when it's hotter, it has the broader strokes, and then when it gets cooler, you'll get the tighter strokes.
Right.
So that's where we sort of slowed up, and I didn't know what the fuck we were doing. But you could basically sell an experience where it's like, hey, in about the next 2 hours, I can have you make your own damn cheap knife out of a train spike.
Which is
So-
kinda cool.
Yeah. So if I literally have all the game plan for that, and I can turn over like 20 guests, it's like, hey, $50, you get to play the game of you're gonna be blacksmithing, and we're gonna play the grinder game,
Mhm.
and you're gonna make your own train spike knife that you get to take home.
You and I both look at each other for that one.
Yeah. What was your
$50, play the grinder game.
Oh boy.
Didn't you know?
Don't you know?
Tinder used to be Grinder.
I believe it.
Letterkenny.
Not for this. Not this. Not like this.
Do you know what dinger fingers are?
Put your hand
Dick
right
fingers.
You know what dinger finger? I thought it was dinger or something.
It was dick fingers.
I thought it was. I read it. We have subtitles on for your blind ass. It's dinger
here.
fingers.
Your blind ass.
I actually can't watch when I was at your place the other day watching Letterkenny,
Yeah.
and we didn't have subtitles on. I was uncomfortable.
He gets so used to it.
Well, the words are running so fast. Like I'll read it now. Like I can give a shit. I'm like I've watched enough anime sub to be able to like grasp what's happening on
get-
screen.
I was about to say, yeah.
Leave me alone. You judging me? You're an anime watcher
Okay.
too.
Yeah,
Get your weeb ass out of here trying to judge another.
Ooh, woo.
Ooh woo.
Ooh, woo, bitch. Until we die.
You need
Oh,
healing.
wounds eat. Body pillows for life.
But yeah, so like End of day, I'm just trying to grab. Like, this is the one thing that I would do forever for no money, because I am so gifted in being able to just find quality people that have gotten like that at least recognize individual responsibility. I think is one of the pieces, and so they've just become their own person, and so they have their own stories to tell and everything. So like one extra piece for like the mic production is that I'm gonna sit down hopefully like next week with like my
Aunt.
my great aunt.
Is she your great aunt?
Great aunt, yeah, because it's my mom's aunt. It's my dad's aunt.
Your dad's aunt,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna sit down with my great aunt hopefully next week if she doesn't die soon. Like prayers, knock on wood, and everything. But she's the historian for my dad's side of the family.
Okay.
And there's no historian on like my mom's side, which is its own
Interesting.
which is its own gander, but whatever. I'll get to that later. But for like my dad's side, the side that I've been pretty distant from because of my parents' divorce, I'm gonna sit down with her and we're gonna bring whatever she's got in terms of hard photos or just whatever we can pull out digitally.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna sit down with her and like first round is gonna be like what's the general like family history, like what does the family come from, where did it came from, who were the big heads that ran
Overview
it.
basic facts.
Yeah, like here's the basic
Yeah.
run. If that only kills 30 minutes, then we'll run into like, all right, let's go through Nispel's Nicholas Solomon, who was like the patriarch, the main man that brought it over and made it happen. Jiddu, Situ Jiddu for Syrian grandma, grandpa.
Is your third
Jiddu,
grandpa?
he'd be my great Jiddu,
That's what I thought.
because Janet Situ and then Great Situ, which I don't remember her name, and you don't
Okay.
either. That's funny. So yeah, so I want to sit down with that and actually do a proper catalog.
Because Sonia and them always called them Situ.
Yeah, because
Because it was their Situ.
yeah, like Sonya's
So-
actually a generation ahead of me.
I know.
It's just that it doesn't feel that way because like there's like a 15-year difference between her and my dad.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one of the other things. Otherwise, like between
it's-
esports people, like I would sit down with Evan and talk Overwatch if we both found enough time to keep up with the league well enough. And I speak more for me than for you.
I was about to say, dick. I'm wearing a fucking league jersey.
I'm
right
aware
now.
you are. You actually got lucky on not getting a crap jersey from Fnatic.
Oh, look at the back. Numbers are peeling apart.
So
It's
depressing.
horrible.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say is like it's really cool. Like if you talking about family history, is like if you had somebody that actually documented stuff and actually took photos and because my dad recently showed me, because my dad's a big photographer. He's always been
Yeah,
a
yeah,
photographer, and both sides of my family have been in the U.S. for like at least 5 or 6 generations each side.
Ah, so they're the actual slave owners.
Because
Because I know mine aren't on my dad's side at least.
Yeah.
They were Catholic in Syria.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
That's how you leave under like,
Yeah.
duress.
Yeah.
Duress with hummus, like.
Yeah, and it is interesting when it gets to that part of the history. But as far as just
But you get like the full 5-generation history right
just
there.
photos, and I have photos that go back,
Yeah,
like and photos and drawings that go back that far.
that's solid.
It's really crazy. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
That's awesome.
I have my great grandpa's calligraphy nibs still, the
Mhm.
writing and the drawing nibs, which was really nice.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
And then
Back when memes were pen drawn.
yeah, very true. But my grandma's sister actually has traced our history back, so like through to the Daughters of the Revolution and everything else like
Mhm.
that. And then my grandpa is a direct descendant of George Washington's grandfather.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, George. Yeah, because George never had kids.
The only person that I know.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh, those George Washington memes from Tumblr. Have y'all seen that shit?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh, I wish.
Aaron has pictures of.
I
most
framed
of them.
it. It was in the apartment.
Martha.
Oh,
Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
shit.
Back in my apartment when I was living with Christian, and Kayvon, there's this Tumblr set that I have that's literally someone took like classic the photos or
Mhm.
the paintings of George Washington on his
Yeah.
estate and everything, or out in the city
And they
or
just
in
made
the
memes
boat.
out of them.
But they just threw like white dialogue.
Yeah,
up
they just
there.
made memes
I
out
know
of
Just
them.
exactly
make it
what you're talking
silly.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That.
it's like
yeah.
I got more children, George. Martha.
No, I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's
Things on-
I was actually just at
Sup,
the
peasants?
Washington Estate. I was actually just at the Washington Estate like a couple months ago.
Nice.
It was really.
I'm gonna read this family the best gosh darn story you've ever heard. Not the one about the British. Spoilers, Martha!
I gathered, like, I found the full clip and I copied and pasted, printed all of them, found like the $1 frames at Dollar Tree, got like a string of cardboard, stapled all of them to it, and just laid it on
We
a vertical.
still have all of those.
Yeah, we do.
That's great.
Yeah, they're buried somewhere.
Like,
No, did any of you actually come to the apartment outside of you and you helped me move, basically? Like, the
I,
apartment was set up. That apartment was set up.
I only
Oh,
came.
yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
Well, you remember the set that I actually had when we were doing
Yeah.
pseudo.
Yep.
I miss that set.
Well,
so
I
much.
never, I didn't reconnect with you until college.
Fucking loner.
So
No. How we reconnected was literally my classic
That was-
horrible social interaction ever. So we both had. Yeah.
I
What was the name
remember
of that
it very-
class? It was
I
like
remember-
World Economics or something like that.
it was wasn't that like international business or something?
International business. So it's an international business, like syllabus week, and I show up to just listen to this German teacher and sit there and realize like I'm not gonna be able to understand this, and I can watch this at home.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you eventually, like, by the second week, you realize it's a textbook class, so the lecture is unimportant. But, like, I sit down, well, even before I sit down, I spot Trent. Or at least I think it's Trent. I'm like, wait, what?
And we haven't, mind you, we haven't seen each other in
Like
10
years or
yeah.
something like that. We hadn't seen each other since, like, I was, like, halfway through high school and still in Boy Scouts, like, Troop 613 rep.
Yeah.
And he was still, like, short and pudgy and not a tall, fit hunk of a man. Like Trent is the epitome of I was a thick little round boy in middle school to like I'm gonna steal your girlfriend. Like, like the flip was so.
Well, and what was funny is that
Jason had the same reaction. Like,
yeah, because I ran into him
and he was like,
my
dude,
freshman year of high school because he went to the same high school.
Yeah,
I did.
university, yeah.
But what was funny is that back in Boy Scouts, like when we were younger, you were the guy that would always, whatever reason, like for whatever, it doesn't matter what it was, he always found a reason to take off a shirt because
me?
because you had.
I went a tan.
Yeah.
I was my most confident
you had abs and
I was
you had
my
like all,
I was
yeah.
my most confident because I was one of those physically fit people, like kind of, and I had nothing but hard work and physical fitness to like kind of work with.
Right.
Because track had done so much for me in 8th grade, and then I fell into chaos with like my mom remarrying into a goddamn monstrosity. So like I didn't actually learn good technique for soccer till like senior year, and by
Right.
then it's like just too late to like even try to go to college or at least like or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, like I would just take off my shirt because I was like, one, confident, two, like always trying to tan, like more or less,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's about all I got for it. Like
Right.
after when you've not worn your shirt long enough, it just weighs you down. Like I'm used to being half naked, so I'm. Gonna
I just
get rid
remember.
of this
I just
right
remember
now.
Nick being like making a joke about it
Oh,
during
yeah.
one of the camos. He was just like, "Oh my God, it's the apocalypse! Take off my shirt."
Johnson was a gem.
Yeah.
Johnson was a gem of a comedic talent because like he was one of the only people I knew outside of like watching Jason watch good stand-up comedy that could make Jason die on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jason's one of the funniest people I know, but he has seen so much funny that you have to find very good, unique funny to make him laugh.
Mm.
And you guys have like hung out with him like at a few annuals now, where like if Jason laughs, it's dead funny. It's brand new dead funny. Where were we at? Yeah, so we're going to international business, and I'm like looking at
10
it
years
because
later.
Yeah, 10 years later, and there's such a stark difference. But like the blonde's still there, the facial feature's still kind of there, and I'm like messaging like
Your
Leah.
shirt's still off.
No.
he was in a full suit.
I was in full suit.
He was
I
in
That's
didn't-
why
full
he
suit.
didn't recognize him.
He went from half naked
Wait,
Sean
wait,
to a
wait,
pimp
wait.
in like 10
What?
years. There we go. That's perfect.
No, I hadn't even looked he
He
looked over
didn't
to that
look left
side
the whole time. He was
yeah.
focused. Like he was a good student. I meanwhile I'm messaging Lee, a mutual friend of ours, like, hey, where's Trent? And I looked up Trent's like Facebook. That was when it was still active. But he had like this comb over glaze look, and I was like, ew.
Yeah, I went through.
It's not a look you agree with.
It was a phase.
No. And I was like, I think so. It got to the end of class. It's like, Trent? And he was like, yeah, Aaron. Nice to meet you. I gotta go, and I immediately leave.
Yeah,
Like,
it
that's
was literally like that's it. He gave no like
no.
he's just
introduction,
like,
no
hey man,
small-
I'm just like, fucking
I-
what?
You
and
should
then
have come in and walk out of my life like that?
no, for real, that's exactly. And then the thing is, I didn't see him probably for the rest of the semester. And then we just happened to have a class like the same class like a
Was it
year
like
later.
HR or something like that?
It was a year
Was it
later.
Gordon?
Yeah. We just happened to be in the same class like literally a year later. I only saw him like
the one time.
that one time,
and
and
then
that was it.
ghost.
So he pulled a
That was it.
deadbeat dead on you.
No, I catfished them socially.
Oh my god. He would be a pro cat.
But yeah, no. And then I hit up like Lee about it later, because Lee was actual friends with people in 613. Meanwhile, it was just me, Jason, and Nick until like Nick and Jason got arrested, and then we unfortunately like cut off Nick just by
Right.
happenstance.
Right.
Shit, that's a turn and a half. You know, they just got arrested. You know.
Well, okay, so like
they shot a dude in the street.
No.
they're trespassing on an elementary school. It's a difference.
Were they drunk?
They're creeping on kids. You know.
It's the middle of the night.
They're creeping on parking
There's some
spots.
damn police brutality
They're
shit, you
creeping
know?
on janitors.
Oh
Jason's-
God, was that Brookshire? They were
No, it's
creeping on?
Arbor Elementary. Over there in the Econolatchee. You have no. How long have you been living in this fucking town?
My entire life, I've been in Winter Park. I went to Brookshire, I went to Glenridge, and then I went to Winter Park.
Yeah, Jason was zoned for
The
University High
normal
School.
way to do it.
Jason was zoned for University High School.
Normal way was Domrick, Maitland, Winter Park.
No, get out of here with that trash. Y'all suck. Only
No,
thing
it's
I'll
not.
have-
Because we're
No
the A
fuckers.
school.
No fuckers. It's Chickasaw Trail, so you're going to Hidden Oaks Elementary School until you go to Odyssey Middle School for 2 years, and your mom remarries, and you have to go to Glenridge for 1 fucking year. What a depressing piece of shit that was. Then you go to Winter Park and try to make friends. You date a cheerleader,
man.
but she's the ugly one. I'm not gonna name her because I don't want to be that rude.
I don't want you to. I want to know what the ugly bitch's name was.
No,
'Cause I
but
probably fucking remember her.
I'm not gonna do that to her because once she got her.
Oh, she got fatter.
No, when she got her facial acne, like got her control like spot on. She had a bad run with getting knocked in the face as well. So
She was hit by the ugly logging company.
No,
with
she
the
was-
ugly stick.
no, but she wasn't. Okay, so here's the problem. Here's the problem with this ex-girlfriend. Like respectable up until like I met her in like community college. We had like one exchange or something like that. Maybe texted a few times, and I realized that she was basically whoring for this one guy who was like a decent dude, but she had like lost all self-respect. It looked like, cause she was willing to just like, no, we can just fuck. Like no strings attached, just kind of like throwing herself.
She just
at
wanted-
it.
just wanted some kind
no,
of
here's how it was.
attachment.
The guy was literally talking to me. I was like, "Hey, you know this girl?" I was like, "Yeah, I dated her like back in freshman year." And like I was kind of like heartstruck over for like 3 fucking years.
I was
'cause-
high as fuck.
But he's basically like letting me know how she's texting him, and he's like, "I'm not really interested in that." Like, and he was, you know, the kind of guy that could horn dog, for sure. But there's a certain point where like when the man whore has had enough.
Nah, he's a virgin.
Standards.
He ain't no man whore. He just talks big.
Max
fellas.
Carrera.
Oh, he's a hoe.
Yeah,
He's a hoe. and a
yeah.
half.
Get
Shit,
the
he
fuck out of
makes
here.
porn stars look clean.
Yeah, and
He's
he's
probably
one-
got, you know, the old.
and he's the one saying, "I'd rather not again." Yeah. So that's where I don't care to name her because I'm not about to pull that kind of bullshit on someone that I haven't had interactions with in ever. Meanwhile,
Oh, you remember one of my exes from high school?
Evan, it's unfortunate that I don't think we really connected till after high school, but I have no
No, we
idea.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yo, you remember her? It was
You
the
and
other
Chris-
ginger.
No, you and Chris. Oh, Alexis?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you've dated so many things.
Yeah, I dated her my
You've dated,
senior
I
year
think
after she
you've
left.
dated so many creatures, like...
I'm not gonna say anything.
no, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Well, hold on, no. Let's fucking jump head first down
Gosh,
that
this
fucking
turned
rabbit
into
hole.
a
And I
gossip
pray to
channel
God
real
I
quick.
cracked my goddamn
Oh,
cranium on the
no.
bottom. What are we doing?
I still like the fact that
As
you're just
lo-
like, I don't want to name this one person, and then you're
Bella
just like that
doesn't
one ginger,
count.
and you're just like, Alexis?
No,
Oh,
no.
shit.
She
Bella
should
never
know.
counted.
We're not...
That counted for Billy. That poor.
We're gonna provide one sin to Billy when you did the same thing. Billy's full of sin. It's mostly in his belly. Like,
So is mine. Fuck off.
yeah, but it's also in your face. Woo!
Didn't shave today. Fuck off.
Actually, that's a solid beard on you.
No,
It
I'm
is.
actually I'm
It
getting
is.
rid of I'm actually getting rid of like pretty much most of it because Sunday we're doing the Adventureland Day Lost Safari Party at Animal Kingdom, and I'm cutting it down for my character because he's got mutton chops McGillicuddy going on. So I'm literally.
I
cutting
would say
down to-
respectable, but I also...
I'm cutting down to mutton chops for that, and then after the event, they're going completely away.
SpongeBob reference. Sideburns.
No, that one doesn't count.
You need more facial hair for mutton chops.
What's the
Yeah.
other one?
Mhm.
What's another one that counts then towards my
What?
sin count?
I don't know. Like, we need to go down who you dated. Because there was one chick that was like an official sin amongst like me and DeMonte's group of people.
Probably Bella.
Not Bella.
No.
No, it's another name.
Danny
Yeah.
Baldwin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
like
Yeah, 'cause I think I had-
we
I
had an
think-
emo chick.
White as could be. So
Yeah, she was a senior my sophomore year.
yeah, so pasty. She was
Yeah.
clear, almost like a contact lens.
She was cute. Shut up.
Oh,
She was cute,
shit,
but weird
I
as
remember
fuck.
her. She
Yeah.
had a stalker, or either
She
she
was
had
a
a stalker,
stalker.
or she was the stalker. Yeah,
Both.
I met her in 9th grade.
Hey, let me create a Facebook profile that's gonna stalk me, but I created it.
Well,
So
there's always a bigger fish.
way to look in the mirror, really, really
Yeah, no,
hard.
I upgraded from there. I
To
upgraded
what?
from there.
Your right hand instead of your left? Like, what are we talking about?
Did you take her to the
There's a
shop?
certain point where you go from glad,
Evan,
Evan. There's a certain point when you go from glad to hefty. Like,
and then you go to Publix brand.
yeah, then you go to like
God.
paper, plastic, and then you go to Jill, otherwise known as your hand. So like, I'm glad you can spell on your fingers.
I'm glad I can too. I almost had a stroke doing it. Fuck, that looks like an L for a second. There's no L-I-L-L. Fuck,
Oh,
that doesn't spell Jill. Where's the dot?
You imply the dot.
Dink. No, so
I
there was
can't do that
there was
sound.
Danny.
So you dated
That
Danny.
was my sophomore year. I was
Who
stupid
was-
as shit.
Who was Bella? Because I have no recollection of this. Was this like Alexis's like lesbian girlfriend for a while? or
Yes.
something? Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
one of them. There was Keely too.
Okay, Alexis has this thing where she'll
We'll
eat
talk
the whole
about that
buffet.
Oh.
Huh?
Alexis has this thing where she's pretty keen on the whole buffet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like, that's fine until you start like, ruining people's upholstery.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway,
I'm so glad.
And now we have another bystander. It's
figure it out.
I'm so glad nobody from high school I went with is here.
yeah, you showed up like around, no wait.
Okay,
You-
so I know the
no.
timeline when he showed
Shut
up.
up, I'm talking.
Okay, fine. Not me. I was gonna help you, but you know what? Screw
No,
you.
no, he got brought in by like Chris Christian or the other for at the apartment.
Yeah, for Oron, which that project.
Because-
Well,
That
was
was
that
after we
project
met
that Kayvon
Brown.
unfortunately couldn't complete on, or another project?
I mean, it is that. No, it was that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
There's a lot more factors than.
Yeah,
just,
there was a lot of us that
Yeah.
just
No.
dropped from it.
Yeah, I
Well,
liked.
Well, even more than just.
Can I toot my horn and say it fucked up because I wasn't involved?
Get your ego out of this fucking.
I was about to say, not really.
Yeah.
No, you're
No,
just.
we fucking.
No, that's one of those that have been
We,
introduced.
wish
on
you
date.
weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
It's not always about you.
Yeah, seriously.
Sort it out. Figure it out.
Sort your shit out.
Figure it out, bud.
I liked it when
No, I only had 2 in high school.
You only had 2 in high school?
Yeah, it went from Danny my sophomore
Oh,
year, then
oh,
I
I'm
didn't date during
remembering
my
my
junior,
se-
and then
oh.
senior year I dated Alexis for like the fall part of the year.
I'm remembering
And
my
then in
like
the
senior
spring I
year
broke
hard
that
crush.
off, and then
Oh man, I'm remembering my senior year hard
Yeah, we all
crush.
know
She
where
was
that
such a
went.
pretty girl.
Huh?
So like senior year was weird because I was basically dating Jose for most of it.
that was funny.
No, like, well, it's kind of what I needed actually because that was when mom was getting the divorce started. So it was just me, mom, and my grandma there to
Yeah.
help out.
Mhm.
And I actually my uncle gave me the blazer, my '98 blazer, and it's that fucker throwing bodies in the back, mostly living.
Wait,
ones.
what?
But no, so like me and Jose were just I'd say Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know who's the bitch in this one, but
We all know.
probably me because I'm usually like the mama bird in the.
Considering between you and Ginger, you
Yeah,
were the
I'm
female.
mom to Alexis.
Yeah, you the bitch.
Yeah, I claim that shit.
Big meaty
Though,
bitch.
though to be fair, Ginger is
Are you calling me
just
fat? Because I've never
Ginger.
done that.
You met Ginger,
No,
right?
No, Ginger's dead because he's neglectful and an alcoholic.
Mom's
I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna
You
say
have to
something
understand.
so
I'm
mean.
terrible. I'm
Same.
terrible. With
Okay.
names. I'm terrible. with
So
names.
Ginger is the red-haired dude that got so drunk.
I
the
assumed
last-
he was redheaded. just
You know, okay,
assume
we can
that.
preface it with that. You know, we
First
call
name is Chris.
It's hot and out. What did you say?
allegedly he fucked an ostrich.
No, he didn't, but he would.
Allegedly.
No, he didn't,
He
but
did.
he would, and he
Allegedly.
wouldn't need help.
No, he
Takes
wouldn't. He did, though, consume a shit ton of apple seeds and also lead bullets to
build up-
counteract lead poisoning
And
and
arsenic.
arsenic poisoning.
Allegedly.
No,
No,
he didn't.
legitimately.
See, here's the
This
thing.
is a story.
Here's the thing, and it's unfortunate because the first person I think
Where
of
the fuck is
that's
that
like
going?
the thing about Ginger is that he has a lot of crazy stories, and most people on like first stance don't believe him. But the rest of us that have been around long enough, we kind of go, "No, you don't understand."
Yeah.
Was he at the last year's?
Yeah, he was
the
obviously the
one
red-haired
that
guy
took
with a
lot of
cane.
shots.
He has a cane.
I know.
There's a lot of people that took a lot of shots last year.
Yeah.
Who had a
No,
cane?
okay. May I?
No.
So Junior's.
So
He said he had a cane.
Who
Yeah, he had
allegedly
a
fucked
cane.
an
He had
officer.
a cane. He pissed off his wife last year.
Okay.
She beat him
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, he's our Hunchback of Notre Dame, but he doesn't ring any bells.
I think I actually
Yeah.
He had
remember.
long red hair.
I think I remember.
Yeah.
What it is.
He didn't go babyface for the annual last
He might have
year,
been
did
close
he?
to babyface. He's got his beard back now, though. But
Yeah.
he's still getting longer and longer hair. His,
Every time I see
his
him,
ponytail's long
he had
enough
a
to wipe
beard.
butt.
Yeah. Okay. I know who it is. I
Yeah.
know who you're talking
So if
about.
he just passes out on the couch, can I just take a pair of scissors and just go yoink?
See, the thing is that even though he's got the cane, and
I think Babs would beat the shit out of me. For
I don't
that
think she
one.
gives a shit, but I don't think you want to try to fight both of them.
Babs is nothing.
Okay.
Him I'm scared of.
Yeah, exactly.
Him I'm scared
Because
of.
he
He's
may have
unpredictable.
fallen and broken his back,
But he
he's-
can get up.
Oh,
Help, I'm falling, but motherfucker, I'm gonna get your ass.
That's the reason why he has the cane.
I might
Yeah.
be crippled, I still beat your ass.
I
Holy
remember him.
crap, he's a crapple.
Creepy apple.
So I think Aaron's in love with him. He made his toaster shine.
No, he did that once. And first off, the toaster references to an actual toaster.
Mm-hmm.
My actual toaster. And then when I moved in and I was installing the washer and dryer, I actually was like, hey, Ginger, clean the toaster. And so he literally just got like everything he could from like microcloth or whatever and just like made the thing shine. And I was like, wow.
Dude, there's laws against that. Can't just have a toaster in your house.
You know,
In the year of 20.
you're making a reference to the 1800s. And it's 2019. And I'm not talking about those toasters.
Yikes.
I'll send you the video, Trent, so you can get up to speed.
You know, I don't watch enough shit to get like 90%
You
of the
don't. You're not from
references that
the
you get.
internet. You have,
No, I
See, here's what you are. You actually have musical talent, so you don't have to deal with the internet.
No, but I still immerse myself in. I would say
Other parts of the internet.
yeah, other parts of the
Like,
internet.
like
I
if you're gonna
don't.
come back with the fuckery of this
Productive parts.
podcast, I'm gonna have to send you some subreddits to subscribe to.
Yeah. See,
Just-
that's
You need
that's
to create a
through-
TikTok account as well. You know, you're
No, like,
Oh,
No,
God.
there's actually some good shit on TikTok.
I
I
know.
know my profile.
what I'm
has
enjoying is that you're
144
finding the
followers.
TikToks for me, and I'm finding the Reddit for you.
well. See, that's
There
one
you
thing
go.
that I've never gotten into. Surprisingly, is Reddit. I've never actually immersed myself into.
I can't
It's
think
the
of
home of
it.
all internet, basically.
Which I'm very surprised that I haven't, just because
Yeah.
of the facets that I'm actually interested in within.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if I could find nerds on Reddit.
What are you talking about,
Dude.
honey?
Plant nerds.
Oh, okay, that was.
What nerd?
You were so unspecific. I was
I
concerned
can
for our
find plant
relationship.
nerds. Hippies.
Oh, probably on Reddit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything's on
There's a
there.
Reddit for everything, right?
Yeah, there's a Reddit for all the way
That's-
through. Like, there's a Reddit for
You
everything.
could probably find an old Tumblr site.
Figure
Just
it out.
dust it off a little bit. Figure it out.
Oh,
The
look.
Letterkenny subreddit is unfortunately pretty inactive.
I know,
Yeah.
that sucks. I was
Well,
like,
that's pretty fitting for the
And everyone's really
subject
hot
matter.
on Bonnie McMurray. I'm sitting there going like, but there's so much less.
Bonnie McMurray.
Yeah, hot stuff. But
No.
Kate is Kate hotter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Bonnie
like
is
Katie.
so
Katie is
unattractive.
Oh no, wait, no.
You
Let
got
me-
yourself
let
an
me-
attentive
No, no.
student
Bonnie
right here,
Mc-
Bonnie.
Honey,
Let me
Bonnie
show you.
Bonnie McMurray is the daughter. Mrs. McMurray is the wife.
Mrs. McMurray.
I
Drill
still
bits.
don't
Canada
think-
Gooses.
So many bits. You can dance with your bits.
Oh, she's Ginny Weasley.
No, she's
Who?
not.
Bonnie, the person
Bonnie
the
is the
character
name
playing
of-
Bonnie White.
No, that's Bonnie Wright, but not Bonnie McMurray is the name of the character in Letterkenny. Bonnie White is the name of the actress that played Ginny Weasley
That's
in
what
Harry
the internet
Potter.
just said, Aaron. You're repeating what you just said.
She.
Sort
Yourself.
yourself out.
Oot.
Eh?
I liked it when Katie was yelling that at them. Or did y'all get to that episode yet?
Katie, put some clothes on. Not my forte. Oh, wait, that's Aaron. Takes the shirt off.
Yeah, Aaron, you don't wear a lot of clothes, and that's what I appreciate about you.
Is that all you appreciate
Is that-
about me?
Well, is that what you appreciate?
You know, at
about
least
Okay,
you're
this is
consistent. As Bonnie? Okay.
What do you,
Murray.
what do you have in like softball?
And then who are you saying is?
That's not a regulation softball outfit.
In the first few episodes, I'm not
No,
really
when
sure
she's
I
selling
could say
ice,
the
when
woman
she's
on there.
selling ice to Wayne,
Bonnie.
Still frame.
and-
oh right. That's the quiet sound of us silently
Right.
masturbating.
I would say she's more attractive.
don't
I
know.
agree.
Yeah, but no butt. That's the only unfortunate
Yeah,
thing
she's
about
more
Kate is just no butt.
Yeah.
But
It's a great day for Thunder Bay.
Yeah, I would say she's more attractive.
I'm a butt guy
Yeah.
though.
And the face. The face is a winner for that one.
The face is a winner.
Yeah.
Everyone always goes, it's either boobs or butt. Can we all just agree that the thighs?
That's
No, I'm an abdominals dude with like belly button. Has to be an innie.
Boy, have
Like
I.
that's my
Are
thing.
you being real?
Yeah. Like
With
Have
nothing
I got a
else.
fucking song for you to listen to? You need
not
to
right now.
Not right
obviously.
now. Not right now.
Yeah,
Obviously, and no,
you
no
gotta just-
copyright.
You guys send
I'll
it
send it to you. Yeah,
on
fuck yeah.
Discord.
I mean, we already played SpongeBob, buddy.
No, it's an old T-Pain song. It's off his
True, yeah.
his Epiphany album.
Music is a little more stricter than that.
Thing is that I went through that up. That's the T-Pain song. Is gonna take your ass to church or something like that.
Church was good.
Church was good,
But-
man. Hey, if you want to go to like a Baptist church, hyped as fuck, you listen to T-Pain's church.
Hell yeah.
Like you go
Yeah.
rolling there hyped up, and then the priest opens his mouth and you shoot him.
You know who always got hyped as fuck to that song, and he still does every time I see him, is Ruben Jackson.
Oh my god.
Ruben was always a hype dude, though. Like Ruben was always
is like
the nice guy.
still is.
Yeah, like I actually appreciate it because him and my effective sister Rachel were always really positive friends with it, and she needed that back then. I think I partied with Ruben one time at like Majdi or something like that, one of Majdi's parties, way back. No one hears from. Oh my gosh, man, I need Ginger from that generation. Jesus.
We'll get him at the end.
No, I remember Majdi and them. Actually,
Yeah, but you never partied at Majdi's.
I didn't, but I
Like,
was
that
never
was-
into the party scene. Like the only
That wasn't even a
person
party
I-
scene. It's like,
well,
hey,
I
let's get
know,
some trash
it's-
bags and a
it's-
smoke machine. It's gonna make everyone hack and cough for 3 days. No lie. No fucking lie. Tyler knows how to brings a fucking smoke machine, brings it into that goddamn 2-bedroom apartment, no windows.
It
What?
sounds terrible.
Dude,
Nah.
fuck me.
Dude,
Like,
That sounds.
The
I was
only
coughing.
person
I was
actually
coughing,
knew
no lie,
forever.
for like a week.
Did he at least
Ugh.
put anything?
No, and
No.
I had to take over the music on one of those parties because they had like Mr. like Glowy Glove Fingers who was playing like shit. I literally go grab like just the right aux cord, throw it into my my iPhone or whatnot on whatever set that didn't work before. Start pumping Drake and some just regular good hip hop shit.
Yeah.
I make them move the couch, kill the lights, start dancing. I was like, mine, all mine. Meanwhile, the original GJ that Majdi got there just sitting in the corner with his glowy glove hands just trying to woo some bitch.
Oh my
And
god.
she's like, can you get this white boy out of my face, please?
I remember this is during the 6-month time frame where I actually went to clubs every now and then. When I first went to college, like at USF, we would
Yeah.
go over to Ybor.
Ebor's where everything's
And-
at, though.
yeah.
I have yet to go there for anything. I need
And
to go.
Yeah.
we would go to AMP, I think is what it was. It's the EDM club that they had, and
Yeah.
there would be people doing like with the fucking gloves like all the time. I'm just like, I'm not fucking high, guys. You can go do this with somebody else.
I got someone else that's actually on
Also,
it.
speaking of which, I'm trying to get a cosplay together where you use that kind of shit. But I'm trying to,
Where you're a DJ with glowy gloves?
no, I'm trying to be Doctor Strange.
Fucking DJ.
Like I'm trying to build some gloves to where I could do that kind of shit.
There's
You need gloves
Yeah.
to do swirly shit?
Well, with the Doctor Strange, if you get gloves that have the fingertips that are
Yeah.
green and that are yellow,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you can actually do a
Strobe
long
effect?
exposure
Oh, okay.
and actually
Mhm.
get
A long
pictures that
exposure
look
photo.
like the.
But it's gonna take a long time to like draw out that rune.
That's okay.
Oh,
You could do- you
yeah,
could
no,
do-
I'm not doing the rune, obviously. No, it's also a nighttime cosplay too. I'm not gonna do that shit during the day. Like,
So what do you do in the
Yeah.
day? Cosplay half as me?
I mean the.
That's a not wearing anything joke.
Oh. Yeah.
That
I also-
went
I also
over
need to-
everybody's heads on that one.
no,
I also need-
no,
I'm
because
still loving that reference to Nick Johnson. Oh, the apocalypse there. Take my shirt off.
Yeah,
I also need to change the costume where it's actually fitting for Florida weather, because fuck wool.
You have to lose like 10 pounds though.
Well, that too.
you'll lose 10 pounds just wearing that thing outside in Florida.
No,
Oh,
seriously.
you'll sweat that
when
shit
I
off.
when I met Benedict Wong, like
Oh,
Yeah.
I was soaked in fucking sweat. I'm like, god damn it.
Yeah.
And I'm inside a building.
Well, see, like this year, I'm having to kind of plan because I'm actually going to be over in DC for because they're having me not transfer, but having me fill in over at the Baltimore location for my work for the last 2
Wait, are you
weekends of
moving soon?
October.
Are you finally moving soon or what?
That's the plan. They are at this point in time they're planning on opening up a location in DC,
Yeah.
like actually in downtown DC, next to the Capital One Arena.
Solid.
Yeah. So
Solid, dude.
yeah.
You be in that politic money. You might be beating your girl on tips.
well,
Has she found any real work up there?
she's working for the Department of State now.
Nice.
She's been working there for the past 3 months now. She actually just got a better position, so she's fucking killing. She's fucking killing it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her.
Solid.
So,
Solid.
But if you're working, I assume you're working as a musician at one of those restaurants.
no, it's
no,
for
Talk the Moon.
it's for a
Oh.
piano bar.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I gave him the idea and he ran with it hard, ran with it well.
Yeah.
well,
You
yeah.
have-
I mean, it's funny just like how the connection of like
lead-
meeting
the
different
head
people.
musician there at Hal the Moon here and I drive in Orlando is the DM for like freaking Baltimore area, DC area.
Kind of. So he's been with the company the longest out of every. Like he's been with the company for like 24 years.
Nice.
And another guy that works in Orlando is known Joe since high school, and his name is Ken. He's been with the company for like 1 year less.
Yeah. The one
So-
that you told me he's the Weird Al of that group there in iDrive.
He's fucking awesome. But he's an amazing musician. But no, like so like I went in, auditioned, and like but because he's been with the company for so long, he's like in direct communication with the owners and with the national entertainment director, and he does have to check up on certain locations and everything. So but yeah, I mean it's so because he's in direct connection, he's told me, he's just like, hey, it's not fully out yet, but last I've been told was like they're 100% it's happening, like going to DC, and hopefully that happens by the new year. So by the time they open up,
Nice. Nice. So
Um,
no more long distance relationship. Happy
after
New
a year and a
dude.
half.
But
Dude.
you
Yeah.
will be getting that politics money because when you're right by the Capitol,
Mhm.
they
Well-
like showing off their money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because
they-
they're
Although
like-
when my girlfriend was there, when she was actually working as a
Bartender?
and she would actually serve sometimes too for like really like
Semi-
high end restaurants
Uh-huh.
that were like next to the lighthouse. She said that majority of people that go in, the tips were not really great. Granted, she was working there during the time of the government shutdown when people weren't
Yeah,
really
that
going
would be
anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Well, the
that
thing
didn't.
is DC
that
is
didn't
also
help
a
out.
very shitty place to live, more or less, because it's such a underrepresented like microstate.
Yep.
Because DC is an actual
What the fuck is that screen?
it's a hand drawn thing from April Fool's League of Legends. It's a Shaco box. It's a jack.
I never want to see that again.
Give me 2 seconds, I'll bring it back. But for Hal at the Moon, people are more likely to throw money there because of the entertainment value.
Yeah, but
So, like-
but also if you're used to the Orlando experience, Orlando is like the most successful location out of everywhere. Like it's
In the whole country?
yeah, out of all the locations they have, it's the top grossing location.
Well, because it's on iDrive.
It's on iDrive. You
Well,
have
it's
all the
It's
tourists.
tourist town, not terrorist town. It's tourist town.
Yeah,
Full of
It's
trouble
fucking-
and terrorists.
fucking-
Trouble indeed.
Jesus
There's
Christ.
trouble there.
I want us to do quick point, and then we'll get back.
No, it's
I
all
want
good.
us to do TTT and Overwatch.
Oh god.
Ooh.
Did you watch Jane's stream on that shit?
I
It's
know,
fucking
I
hilarious
did.
with
It
Jane
was-
and
it was
Nemon
fun.
going ham. And Josh loves that shit, and I just don't want to deal with Gmod.
I hate Gmod so much.
Because
What?
Stop
they
that
okay,
shit.
do you know what Gmod is? Gary's mod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
what's wrong with that?
Okay, first off, it's low resolution for the day and age. 2,
Yeah.
Overwatch actually has codes in the workshop that let you do TTT.
Oh yeah, I know what
in
you're
it.
talking about.
Yeah.
Now.
So like,
I
and
have
so
no idea
Josh
what
and
TTT
Compy
is.
are always way
Trouble in
positive.
Terrorist Town. It's
Mhm.
just a
On
game.
doing
It's a game
TTT.
mode. She doesn't
I
know what
have no
TTT
idea
is.
what TTT is.
Okay, so Trouble in Terrorist Town is hostages or is just innocents versus terrorists. There's like 2 terrorists in the group of like 6 total,
Mm-hmm.
and the terrorists know who each other are, but the innocents have no idea who's who. And you're given like full guns basically. Like imagine having just everyone's a McCree, more or
Yeah.
less, or everyone's just like a fully fledged whatever. And so you're literally just trying to play mind games, vocal games, voice games, line games,
Mhm.
whatever, and you kill someone, you're blind for like 5 seconds, and you throw your gun away. At least in traditional
Right.
Gmod.
Yeah.
So like the innocents are just playing like run around, and the murderer has like a knife or can
Mhm.
throw the knife in
Mhm.
Gmod.
Yeah.
And so like it is a really good fun psychological game. It's just that like Compy has not been able to put a lot of time into it for server and for mods and for maps and other things. So it's very low resolution.
Mm-hmm.
And they love to play because that's what they played back in up and coming back when like Counter-Strike Source and the original like Half-Life, like back in the 90s, like
Yeah.
first tier computer development.
Yeah.
So like if you want to like jump up a level, like if you want a platform jump up, like we remember when you're trying to just jump on a table in Overwatch or something like that, you have to hit spacebar and hit control, so you're crouching while you're jumping, so your model actually get on top of the block.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have to get used to crouch jumping, so your model will actually raise its legs to elevate yourself onto the model.
Very.
So it's always very low resolution. Compy and Josh and Kevin love to play it because it's like basically a big callback to their childhood, more or less.
Well, that's also where a lot of YouTubers. I mean, that's where they got a lot
there's
of
a lot of
like
stuff
a
you
lot,
can do
of,
with
lot of the
Gmod.
big. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking specifically with Trouble and Toast. I'm like with Gmod.
Yeah.
Like there's that's where a lot of YouTube like that's
Yeah.
channels.
A
That's where
lot
they
can
have like their foundation where they built like
Yeah.
a lot of their
Yeah.
their
And a
their
lot
entertainment
can be
off of
done
it.
with it, but when it comes to Gmodding in our Discord and the Discord me and Evan are in constantly, it's so base. It's so base that
It's kind of
we've now
unpleasant to
finally
play.
like
Age of Empires 2 looks better.
yeah,
Mhm.
like
Dude.
we would sooner get Gungan and just help him run train on some AIs playing Age
Oh,
of
yeah,
Empires
we would.
2.
I want to play Age of Empires.
I know, right? Instead of going to Gmod, because like they have their old patterns to where like they call like bro code, so Compy and Josh will team up and just barricade themselves in a room.
Bunch of bitches.
It's just, and the only funny thing is just everyone picks Luigi or some skin basically,
Yeah.
to where your model's short, like you're a pig, so I can't even
Mhm.
see you. Granted, your model is like full height, full human body height, but all I visually see for your model is a
Yes.
little fucking pig.
Yeah. I know what
And
you're
so
talking
it's just infuriating in
Mhm.
a way. And so it can be really cheesy fun or whatnot if you're like crossfaded or drunk or whatever.
Which most
It
of our
can get
Discord
fun,
always
Or
is.
if
but
like
like,
you're
they
with-
always get excited because when they get 8 people, they'll always start out with like their watermelon version of Bomberman, which can get sort of hypey.
Yeah.
But like,
Can you do prop hunt on there though?
we do prop hunt too.
On
Like, we-
Overwatch?
so many.
We do TTT, we do murder, we do water. We
So you do all of them
Yeah, we do all of them.
on
like-
Overwatch.
No. Like not on Overwatch. We do it on
Garry's
Gmod.
Mod.
Okay, yeah.
The thing with though is that if you buy Overwatch, you can probably find the code, or if you get someone that can figure it out, like if you just get Darwin streams to do it
Yeah.
and figure out the code, you could probably do it.
Okay.
But like, Gmod requires you to like figure out all the shit to buy between Half-Life, Team
Yeah,
Fortress,
that's
Counter Strike, Half-Life 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then Gmod and make it all work and subscribe on Steam to get everything that the dude made, so you can actually
That's
upload it.
true.
And then like, it's a tall ask, and
That's
and
a
then,
lot of logistics.
and then to execute
And
is
for
to
everything
have
to work
is to have a computer
perfectly.
be the server to host your friends that are going to come in and
Right.
play.
Yeah.
So it's a really tall ask. Meanwhile, you can go into Overwatch, hit in a six alphanumerical code, TTT, Weeping Angels,
Yeah.
shit like that.
Potato.
Hot Potato.
Hot potato's fun.
Yeah, or you can go play Pummel Party and just do Hot Potato there.
I need to get over.
Hot potatoes where everyone's McCree, and when you shoot someone, they light on fire and they just tick down their health really fast, and you have to shoot really quickly to light
Now-
the other McCrees on fire. So I'll just sit in the corner, and someone will be going at me. I'll just be like we'll go back and forth for a good 3 seconds, and then finally one of us is gonna die.
Now, my
It sucks.
my favorite to watch was that Anna one.
Oh yeah, you were there for that? The Sleep Dart Anna? Have you played Overwatch at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there's a healer character.
I might like just to preface everything. I rarely play games anymore,
Cool.
but I do.
Excommunicated and muted.
No.
Now-
I rarely play, but I do watch. I am up to date on everything that's going on because I watch you.
Yeah. So
Overwatch.
so Anna has a sleep dart as a projectile,
Okay.
and so this one version of the one edit that I don't know who made it basically, but I found it's a Anna sleep dart game or whatnot, to where everyone plays Anna,
Mhm.
and all the ability that she has is sleep dart.
Mhm.
You have to teabag.
But you have to teabag to kill them,
Oh my
and it's like an
God.
AOE bomb actually. So body blocking is not even a good strat. So you have just a 6v6, and you're just running
That
around
sounds
just
fun.
throwing sleep darts, and if you nail them, you have to be able to run
That
over
sounds fun. Yeah.
and crouch on them and hope, and the sleeping person either hopes that someone else sleeps the other person, but if say one person slept, 2 people are right by them, and you teabag the slept person, because they're slept, your crouch will activate the ability and instantly kill the other 2. So you can come in and get a quad because you've
funny.
landed 1 sleep dart. The other team has not landed any sleep darts, and you crouch. And I adjusted it to where the sleep dart had a cooldown of 4 seconds instead of the normal 9.
Oh my god.
I think we did 0%. At some point, so you're just constantly just sleep
Oh yeah,
darting
no,
everything.
It was so stupid. You look tired. Zing, 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 zing.
Stop pumping me with Xanax.
No,
So that was
sounds
one-
entertaining.
That was one Overwatch code that I found that I was like, I'm so sad I was not set up at the time to record because it was
Mhm.
such a goddamn mess.
There was one that we were playing.
We played last night where we just did free for all
No, that was fun.
on skirmish, and we all ended up as Reinhardt's because Evan decided to bring out his Torbjorn hammer.
And I got 2 Torb hammer kills.
And
just out of nowhere,
Tom-
just running around.
Tom, like our dominant Reinhardt player, was like, "Oh, you want to do hammer kills?"
And there was a good
And there was
like,
just,
30-second bout where I'm
was-
running around the map away from him, just
Yo,
trying not to get slapped.
There were a couple of times where I got one overs on Tom, and I was just like, yes!
Because Stooley over here
I
is our
miss so
resident
much.
newbie. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that was great. Because there was a point where
And then the
there's
entire
5
team
Reinhardts
on-
just trying to pin each other and hammer down and just whack each other. It's
And
just
then
like,
Compy stayed on May the whole time to break up the fight every once in a while because he's a piece of shit. And then I finally switched off Reinhardt, went to Doomfist with Zyre.
Yeah,
the
you-
2 of us were just fucking on everyone.
trying to,
And then
more or less trying to.
mainly Compy, we were just like, he's like, they're like a couple of raptors. And then out of nowhere, me and Zyre were both like, "Wah!" And he fucking jumped down, slam his ass, throw him into the wall.
Like
There we
Tyler,
go.
Tyler, like if you want to get on team, like making good content, you need to like get a decent computer just to play with us with, and I'll capture
Yeah.
everything else.
I have
like,
one. I just need to get Overwatch.
Yeah. Well. Oh, I guess.
When's your birthday?
May.
Have they not? Have they not done like a half off on Overwatch lately?
Not lately, no.
Yeah.
But I mean,
They're probably gonna do one for the holidays.
I'll save money for it though.
Yeah, you
BlizzCon
can
or
suck
holidays.
dick. You can get some money. Like.
I'll suck
mean-
a dick, but I'm not gay.
I'm
Hey, you got it.
No, no
Got
homo.
our-
Love seat.
No
I'm
homo,
kind of
bro.
already doing a gag.
You want
where
this
I'm
couch on
getting
Craigslist?
paid.
Yo, man, I got these HD DVRs.
Yo,
You're
ask your friend. He sound cute as fuck right now. What the
You,
fuck?
you reminded me of a story where I was in basic, and my buddy would call his girlfriend, but the other dude would be like, he'd do this voice where it's like, "Hey, get over here. This dick ain't gonna suck itself."
Oh shit!
While he's talking to his dad. It does me every time.
Please tell me he was from Mississippi.
No, fuck. I don't know where Mixon was from, but he was
Oh, jeez.
funny as shit. No, this dude also, I don't know why.
What are you
but-
looking at? That's making that face, Evan.
There's okay. So you know Geggery, the off.
Yeah.
She's like,
The
hey,
best.
hey, can I just get, can I get some just once lick? And I'm like, what?
That did not translate well.
Yeah, no, it didn't. She's adorable though. But she's looking at poison dart frogs. She's like, I just want to lick a poison dart frog once. And I'm like,
You have a death wish, honey.
Geggery.
Yeah.
But the thing
No.
is,
You can't
her
defense matrix
profile
that.
picture is this.
Oh man.
She's literally the frog.
Oh my god.
She is frog.
Is Geggery or some? Is Geggery like
She's a
frog
shit.
in like Mandarin or something like that?
I think so.
Oh, okay,
Not
that,
anymore.
that would make sense because that's what Jonak basically is. It's like octopus or squid in Korean. So.
There's another time where I just walked in the bathroom.
But yeah, no, seriously, like you get in this Discord, you can just listen.
Oh my god.
You can just listen. Like
You'll
we have.
Tommy
and-
and Josh would love him.
Oh yeah.
Tom
yeah.
would love
Well, no. Well,
I'm
Tom's Navy and Josh and Compy and when Kevin shows up every now and then.
Yeah.
Josh
Who's
and
Kevin.
he's avoiding them because they keep getting into fights. They just passively get into fights.
Really?
Yeah, they just do. Like they're all friends and cool and everything, but Kevin avoids because there's just a high tendency for all three of them because they're all alphas. If you haven't noticed.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, like
Thank
Compy.
God Josh's computer shit the bed.
Basically.
God, this is the most peace we've had in years.
Yeah, because well, Josh has this tendency to get. Josh is very competitive. He can do some fuckery, but he has my tendency to be hyper competitive, but he can't brush the salt off. When the match is over, I can brush the salt off.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm a piece of shit.
I used to have that hard time. That's why I stay away from Overwatch.
But basically,
that other
it's Josh and Compy are Marines,
Mm-hmm.
former combat Marines.
Yeah.
Kevin is also a former Marine.
Yeah.
Tom with his two buddies, the Ragnarocker and Zyri are also Navy.
Yeah.
And then you'd be the only Army guy. And then Chris, who does our One Trick Mercy, here's the funny thing about this is Discord. There's a lot of autistic people there actually,
Okay.
like functional autistic people. Like no fucking around with anyone,
Yeah.
no call. Like there's I'm not gonna name anyone because it's their business.
Yeah.
But there's some people that are either slightly or very much on the spectrum. But like what's so great is that some of them are really fun to play with because they know their shit. And they're socially like they're just autistic, so
Our
like
one
there's
trick mercy.
they'll
is perfect.
fuck you up verbally, and you're just like you're a goddamn gem. Like
Chris full on shat on me the other day.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like-
what the fuck is
I
that?
was like, do I need to get your sister in here? And he's like, yeah, get her. What is she gonna do, bitch? I'm like, oh my god, Chris, what the fuck? Leave me alone.
Like grown men who understand what they are and what they're about don't give a flying. And Michelle wouldn't give a shit anyway. Like it's one
No,
of those-
she's off
it's
playing
one of
top
those-
with her other friends. Fuck her. We're not important
She
anymore.
wants to do her competitive. She does her thing because like
Yeah, she wants to sit down in silver.
no, she's a diamond, dude.
She's a diamond.
She's
player?
plat diamond, dude.
What?
She's like casually plat or full on
A
diamond.
casual plat. That's. God.
Yeah, well, the
How are you casual?
Yeah, but you look at the rest of the people we play with. Most of them are hanging out in gold or lower because either
Yeah.
Tom doesn't play enough or doesn't, or like the last time. Were you there the last time we played? We just got mad dicked on, got too frustrated, and just played stupid. Because like
I was there because
Yeah.
I went silent as fuck that second
everyone went
match.
silent as fuck. And I
Because
saw everyone went silent as fuck, and Tom just started yeeting off, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
And Comby's like, no one's saying anything. I know not to say anything because we're too fucking tilted, and no one's thinking strategically. And the problem that we have with playing with these people is that they're very fun, but they don't care to go to that level of strategy. That's where everyone hates Lucio, when it's like Lucio is a hard carry
He
Yeah.
is.
because of the speed boost.
Especially today.
Oh yeah,
Fuck me. You gotta play that game with
I need-
3 boops off a fucking ledge, and I'm like, you.
I was in Sanctum.
All the.
I went to finish the Zenyatta with the boop and accidentally booped the Roadhog off. So he's dead. And then I get like another boop with the Moira off, and she was already one anyway. And then I turn around, I just 1v1 the Hanzo and just shoot him in the
Fuck
face.
Moiras.
Like I just get this 4 off, and like someone on the team's like, Lucio, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, you were breaking it down.
I still play the game so much today. I was like,
Yeah, you got your FAR, and we're playing in QP, so it's basically bronze and like.
oh no, it was my Junkrat plays.
Oh yeah, your
Okay,
your
so
Junkrat is
my-
clean.
Yeah, that's why I said.
I
I'm the-
hate you.
There's
I'm
no
Widow,
such
and
thing.
you're just sneaking up on me as a fucking rat with a peg leg and a goddamn mine. I'm just there trying to practice my hit scan. I'm just turning around. There's a mine in my face with a grenade next to me. I'm going, well, this is my life now.
Does it smell like barbecue?
Oh yeah, no, that's why I'll say it. Out of everyone that I've watched play Junkrat in our Discord, I'm the Junkrat specialist.
You are
Because
and I
well,
that
He was
comment
my-
tilts Zyri because he's the other.
If I wasn't motivated now, I'm definitely motivated.
well, like the only other.
Come on,
You know,
Because I started. Because
Well,
I started as
you know who's a
Junkrat
clean?
main.
You know who's a really clean fucking Junkrat is Frito.
Yeah.
You ever watch his Junkrat?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen somebody so good at predicting those nades. Like it was like.
Like that was today when I so we were on Gibraltar.
Mhm.
I was up on high ground. It was how I got play of the game. We pushed them into point A, and they all had them
I have no
down
idea what
in the
the fuck's
left
being
door
Yeah.
at the bottom. So like pretty much you come up out of
That
spawn,
hurry
you go
trip
straight through
potato
that door.
used to.
No, I wasn't. I
I was
wasn't.
just lobbing nades into that. I got so much extra damage kill.
Nice.
Their far peaks over the ship. I'm like, all right, bitch, come here. I use my first concussion. I get over her in like midair. I turn 180, throw a mine at her.
Yes.
Throw her into the air a little further. Track it. 1 grenade.
Oh.
Dead. I was like,
Nice.
Snipe.
that's not gonna happen
Sniper.
ever again. And then I took her down 2 more times by the end of the
Please
match. I was
tell me-
like,
Please tell me you recorded that.
play the game.
We have the
got it.
game.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we have
absolutely.
we have the replay. Like we can literally take that and put it
Yeah.
on the channel. Because the game I need to play now is that I have to play out, because I have a whole tree map of this. Is that Pseudo's the overarching piece?
Yeah.
I have my personal for just my streams or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I have JHP for this specific podcast, obviously.
Okay.
But under Pseudo, we can sort of play just a gaming channel, just general Pseudo games or something
Yeah.
like that.
Kind of
Yeah.
like how Rooster Teeth is the overarching, and then
Yeah.
there's Let's
Fun
Play and
House.
all
Achievement Hunter,
Fun
Fun
House.
House.
No,
Yeah.
Bruce is gone.
Yeah, I saw
Really?
that
Yeah, I
video.
heard that.
Bruce
Yeah.
gone
I
off
saw
to
that
do his
video
own thing.
today.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna go streaming with his girlfriend and stuff.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Well, his thing is that I've been doing a lot of work for other companies. I'm ready to do my own. Like,
Nice.
Mhm.
Hell
Solid.
Yeah, they dedicated like a whole like 30-minute podcast to
Yeah.
just talking about it.
yeah. So, but that's sort of the game out there is that I can basically treat Pseudo and game shit like that. It's like, and here's Evan just dicking on a pharaoh. Yeet!
Dude,
Yeet!
I
mean,
that's the thing though. My DPI is all the way up on my mouse. Like
I
it's
have
all the way up.
I have to
my,
go back to analyzing that.
I actually do
it's-
need to learn how to play first persons on mouse. It won't be hard.
No.
On mouse and keyboard.
The
Won't be
hardest
too hard.
hero for me to getting used to, because you know me, I was a one-trick pharaoh like a motherfucker
Yeah.
on PlayStation.
Is Farrah the hardest on there?
She was the hardest for me to learn to get back because of the constant
Yeah.
jumping
Spacebar,
on
yeah.
the space.
All you have to adjust
But-
for, because I did get competent at FPS with like Halo on, because My issue is that I wasn't allowed in games till I was an adult because my mother was a thing.
Yeah.
God rest her soul. She was a bitch. I couldn't play end games until I was an adult. Okay, that was some bullshit.
My aunt got me Halo in my freshman
I had to
year.
hide.
She
No,
snuck it
no.
past my mom.
I had to hide GTA up in my dad's property. Like,
GTA 5.
I had to leave shit up 3 hours out of town so I could play it the twice a year I went up to hang out with my dad at his property. Like,
The only thing I'll say about console games that are FPS is that the first time I played Halo, my brother had the sensitivity so high that I made him sick because I couldn't figure out the cameras. And it was spinning
It's
all
like one
over
of
the
those
place.
gyro balls.
That's the thing, though. I pre-ordered 2 copies of
That's
Modern
funny.
Warfare. I have one coming in for PC,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting one for Xbox because I've had every Call of Duty title on Xbox. That's tradition. I have to have it. Otherwise, I'm a piece of shit garbage.
that's the dumbest waste of money I've ever heard in my life. You could be buying him a copy of Overwatch.
Well, that's why.
And that's supporting the community. That's supporting Pseudo. That's supporting this production.
You can suck my production. You can kiss my esthetician. You guys do CrossFit?
You
can
cross fuck off.
Oh, come on, kitten. I won't tell. Little 5-on-1.
Spread some literature.
Spreading some free literature.
That show.
All you need to watch at this point is just the cold open for season 1 for Letterkenny. That lets you know.
Yeah,
I've been
honestly,
Neil. You remember Neil, one of the piano players?
Yeah.
He's been telling me nonstop about Letter. Like
Yeah.
he's just like, you gotta watch it.
Where's the
you gotta watch
S&P,
it.
bud? S&P, the choice for me.
I love Letterkenny, but It's Always Sunny tends to be my go-to.
I've still never seen It's Always
I never
Sunny.
was able to get into it.
Yeah, it's a
It's too
lot.
brain dead for me.
It is pretty brain dead.
Like things that don't have like plot lines that like the one. Well, I don't know the plot lines. My issue. So here's the example I give to people is Super Troopers. I could not finish that by myself,
Mm-hmm.
but watching it, never laughed. Maybe laughed maybe once at something that was like new, like maybe them chugging syrup.
Yeah.
But the moment I was hanging out with like friends that had the same references is the moment it became funny.
Well,
Like
right.
so,
It's like-
so brain dead shit is community funny for me.
Mhm.
By myself, the only thing that's funny is like comics
Right.
or
Well, it's like
Yeah.
that's when you truly can like
Yeah.
for yourself you can truly find like know that something is funny to you is
Yeah.
if you're by yourself and you're laughing your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
so
That
here's
is
something
when you
that
know something.
Here's something that I learned when I was at my dad's watching plenty of Comedy Central and thus seeing a lot of specials twice, like Jeff Dunham arguing with myself, like his big opener,
Mhm.
his first big one,
Right.
is that I watched it, 2 different versions of it on Comedy Central,
Mm-hmm.
2 very different versions. One was more edited than the other, but the laugh reel was different too.
Really
And some jokes,
just did not land.
they did
They're
not
weird.
land because the laugh reel wasn't there.
Wow.
Like, the laugh reel, and this is like where you look at Disney and be like, you better not fuck around with like fucking democracy here. The laugh reel is its own sign of saying like the laugh lets you know it's funny and thus you find it funny. Like it
Right.
turns on a subconscious thing.
Yeah.
to
well,
laugh.
well, I
Jailhouse.
specifically remember.
That's why we laugh at toasters because
Well,
of the community.
Well, it's like
piece
I
of it.
specifically remember as a kid, like this is something that I would just have. I used to just have the TV on, just on the side, like just playing
just hanging
like
out.
something. And I remember there. I don't even remember how old I was, but I just remember the show. It was like the Penguins of Madagascar.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, that show I just like it would come on whenever I was back at home and I was working on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, as a kid, I just remember that particular fucking show made me laugh my ass off so
Yeah.
goddamn
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good.
Well, I remember being a kid. I laughed at I was very innocent as a kid, and I say that because I laughed at things so easily, so often.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like I laughed at everything.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember one thing that happened like on a movie, but I laughed at so many things because I think I saw so many levels. Because it was like before my analysis showed up. Because I am naturally actually as well. So there's 2 things you learn in management: is that you have the common sense workers and the book smart workers.
Mm.
Book smart's really good at the analysis and the
Yeah.
sort of deeper details.
Yeah.
The common sense people are like, they'll get it. They'll get like the gist of it and they'll go do it, but their level of detail will probably lack.
Yeah.
So like, go build this
On a
display.
simplistic.
Yeah,
level,
like
yeah.
they're the ones that need detail work. While meanwhile, the book smart people they need to learn how to do the brain dead work without getting too detailed about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like build this display and the person that's doing it book smart will take too damn long to build the display. Meanwhile, the common sense person will get it done way faster,
Yep.
but you'll probably have to fix it.
And obviously, it's never that black and white, but
Yeah. And
Yeah.
managers are like in the middle of that. But
Give
that's
John's
more
example.
I can't remember it.
John's example was he had this individual that was completely book smarts, had no common
Mears,
sense.
Cole Mears, yeah.
And he said there was a display, an end cap
And he had,
that
like,
was
a few
completely empty, basically.
Yeah.
And he said,
What's wrong with this?
"What's wrong with this?"
And like Cole's there with like maybe 2 other stock clerks because Cole was a bagger that would come help us out.
And keep in
and
mind that he is an architect.
Architect. He's going for architecture. And Cole's
Ted
like,
Mosby.
yeah, well, and Cole goes, well, it's a little crooked here, and John's like, it's empty. Like it had 1 layer of product on it. We're building it. It's like, it's on a Tuesday, it's on a Wednesday night, so we're building all the displays for the next sale week. And it's basically empty. It's like, 11 o'clock at night or some shit. And so the Booksmart guy, Cole, for example, here, identifies like a nuanced detail because of just affinity. Meanwhile, the common sense person will be like, needs to be filled.
Right.
And that's just affinities. So I think in evaluating myself and laughing at everything is that I saw so many things further than people. Like when I was at track meets during middle school, I figured out in the first 2 track meets when I was at Odyssey Middle School, I learned that there was a relative ratio between how many points could be scored just intuitively. So when I heard a high number for us and then a low number for the opposing school, I knew like we won. Okay, there's your metric to learn. And so when I got to like later on in the season, or when I was at Glenridge track in 8th grade, and I heard a certain height of a number, I'd react before anyone else in the whole field because I just intuited that much.
Mm-hmm.
So there were certain things that I laughed at as a kid that I went and rewatched recently. I can't remember any of them right now. Like we watched Hercules or something. Like I laughed at it as a kid, and then I went back while I was watching it and realized like I laughed at it when like, wow, I picked up on those like subliminal pieces without being able to articulate what those were.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just understanding.
And yeah, so those fun little things.
Mm-hmm.
Tangents. They're like tangerines, but more ent.
So close.
Everyone hates me right now.
Like,
Evan's rubbing his eyes. Tyler's staring up into the distance, trying not to kill himself. And Melanie's looking at me, trying not to kill me right now. Trent's laughing at the scene.
well, no, because so I always tell people it's like I love terrible jokes, and the reason why is for that reaction.
I do too, but god damn was that a train wreck.
Hey, mine was a walking tree of a joke.
Hey, it will always never be as bad as when I destroyed Chris Velez's life.
She revisits this so often, it's not funny to me anymore.
Wait.
Did she tell you about this one?
Huh?
I don't think
You have to run. Oh, so you have to. So the way you make this joke better, honey, is they have to run a list of puns and then deliver the killer pun to the person you're telling the story to.
Yeah.
They have to become Chris. You have to destroy Evan right now and go.
Oh, it's not that hard.
Okay.
I tried not to. I have tried.
me
Sorry
on the
not to
spot.
insult you in the last 5 seconds.
It's okay. Well, no.
I tried to catch a cloud in a jar. I missed.
Nice.
You don't stop.
You get a bombarded.
I put my grandma on speed dial. I call that Instagram. The Energizer Bunny was arrested for battery. I got a horse. I named him May. Because mayonnaise.
His face. There was, or you still going?
What?
No. It gets better.
Yeah.
May.
I named-
Mayonnaise.
Gets better.
Yeah, it gets deeper.
So, I've started a new workout routine. Every day I do diddly squats.
And that's what broke Chris.
Yeah, that's what.
Though to be fair, I had been going off on puns for about an hour and a half before
She
that.
was looking them up. She resources her torture devices.
That'd be
I'm
effective.
just glad
She's a
I don't have
Spanish
a
Inquisition
shovel
with
at my
internet.
disposal because that thing would go fucking yeeting across this table.
I have I have a short shovel. I have a short shovel, a long shovel, a Glock shovel.
He has an actual toaster.
Oh yeah, the actual Glock.
Yeah, the Glock. Yeah.
Nice.
My stepdad made a joke, or my dad actually when he gave it to me, he's like, "Yeah, it has a saw that you can like attach to the end of it, so you could saw up your stepbrother and bury him later." And I was like, "Solid,
Jesus.
solid points for Joey."
Uh,
I think in hindsight, he was just an angry kid, which was unfortunate.
Mm.
I don't think anything good is coming of it. What did you find?
I started a company selling landmine disguised as prayer mats. Profits are going through the roof.
I love that one.
And we reached the pun hour of this podcast.
Jesus Christ.
It only took us an hour and a half to get here.
All right,
Kill me.
All right, Jihadi Johnny.
What is that, a Muslim in Mississippi? How are you putting that one off? Jihadi Johnny?
No, that's Bethlehem, Ohio.
God damn it.
No, Allah.
Oh, well, damn it.
Probably the funniest joke Jeff Dunham did.
Son's made a lot of funny jokes.
Oh no,
man.
he has.
Like, if you watch Arguing with Myself, that gets to certain levels of like, oh.
No, because I remember
he-
the laugh reel you're talking about. There was one
I
that
just-
Walter said that nobody laughed. He's like, "Come on, that was fucking fun."
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah," because no one went for that
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
Because it was like
Because it was
that-
Santa Ana.
Oh yeah, no, it was
Santa
Fuck
fucking
you, that-
Ana.
fuck you. That's funny.
Well, that's the Larry the Cable Guy equivalent. It was like, that was funny. I don't care who you are. That was funny right there.
I don't care who you are.
If you can understand the poor
Well,
bastard.
I was sad as a midget with a yo-yo.
well, that's the funny thing about.
I got more pissed off than an albino hitchhiker in the snow.
There's some jokes that man makes that are goddamn gems.
That's the funny thing about. That's the interesting thing about.
Larry's a goddamn
entertainment.
genius, but he plays stupid.
Yeah.
No, just entertain.
Wow,
Like
so
anything where you're
autistic.
entertaining anybody at a certain level. Like it's something that I learned is like there is shit that on 95% of the nights that land and they land hard. Like they land really
Yeah.
well. Like everybody loves it. And then there's some night like some.
Oh, because
Occasional nights.
have you gotten to actually leading have you started leading at Howl or what?
Yeah, they're talking about just me being on.
Just fucking with the crowd and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Jeff does. Because Jeff would fuck with the crowd.
Jeff.
Or you're leading.
Joe.
Joe, yeah, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, like it's all like my interaction is.
Warming up at least.
No, I mean it's definitely like if you actually went out and you saw me.
Because you have yet to tell me to come out to a night like, hey, I'll be confident this night to like kick.
Hey, you should actually.
Well,
go
that's
out
that's
for night and
that's
see.
that's any night that I'm at.
Okay.
But
So you let us know and we're gonna show up.
Okay.
And
But-
we're
but
gonna
it-
fight.
Why are you
it's-
looking
it's-
around the room when you say that. But okay.
It's just
Fucking laugh.
But yeah, but it's there are some nights where it's like you do something that where it's like normally everybody in the room reacts.
Yeah.
In the way that you want them to, and then some night like it's just
Dead.
fucking dead.
Yeah.
And then you just have. But the thing is, what's funny is just like, and you play it up, and it just like, and you roll with it, and,
Yeah.
and you go along with it.
Well, that was like Eddie Izzard was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he basically explained his process where he just rambles.
Yeah.
But he actually was able to make a joke. I was like, well, I guess that didn't fucking stick, and that's somehow the punchline. Like,
Right.
I'll hang out on cheese for like 10 minutes. Like, well, I guess no one likes cheese. Moving on. and that's like, that's
I can-
Eddie's MO.
I can
for his-
respect that.
Yeah. Well, it's because he was a street performer. Like, there's
Yeah.
certain things that you hear good artists do, like Eddie do. He's like, no, I was a street performer. And I'm sitting there going like, yeah, I'm way too like naturally conservative to be able to just go starving artist it into like becoming something. Because nothing's like grabbed me naturally that way. I love the idea of building something like solid.
Mm-hmm. Having a
Helpful.
foundation and actually
Yeah.
having a plan.
Oh, okay.
Got it. I'm gonna
You
meet
good?
you at this fucking right life.
Huh?
Actually, oh no, I can.
Actually,
I just have to remember which one you are. You have to leave soon, buddy.
No. I have to go on to Twitch and actually, because I got a random sub gift, and
Someone subscribed to you?
No, no, trust me, I don't have anywhere
Like,
near the
watch
numbers for
him!
that. No,
Fucking laugh!
someone gave me a random subscription to a random fucking channel.
Oh, okay.
Like a tier 3 subscription. And I'm just like, unfollow, unsubscribe. Thanks for wasting your money, bud. Like,
Isn't it tier 1's top tier?
tier 3s.
Tier 3's at top?
Your tier 1 is your $4.99, but right now it's September. Sponsored by Subway, so you can get all tier 1 subs at $2.50.
But no $5 foot long with your sub?
Will the spokesperson stay away from my
No
kids?
sub for your sub?
Shut up. Then tier 2s are $9.99, and then $24.99 are the tier 3s.
Damn, I want Subway right now.
Right? No, you know what I want?
Hmm.
I'm gonna go to Subway. I'm just gonna get an uncut.
Self-respect.
Uncut self-respect. Patented by whatever this is.
Jared.
No.
No, that's just.
Yeah,
that's
no,
something
I'm
else.
sorry.
Jared, keep your footlongs away from the kids.
No, that's an Italian with a pedo inside.
It's a Geppetto.
Hello.
Call that one Pinocchio.
Hello, welcome to the Vatican.
This is
Start speaking fucking Latin into the mic.
Don't
Billy, your
summon-
mouth should be full right now.
Don't summon the demons.
Anyway, no.
So you got the sub
Go
or
with-
not?
yeah, get like the uncut Italian urban cheese bread. Run to Publix, tell them to fill that bitch. Be like,
I
let me
don't-
get a chicken tender sub. Here's my bread.
I don't think by health code they can do that.
My deli
Yeah.
would. My deli would do it in a heartbeat.
Solid.
They love me.
Oh, what was it that Batista called it? So I had a coworker, Mike Batista, shout out. He worked at the deli at the Green Monster, and he
Which
created
one?
mine at $12.85.
Oh god,
Yeah,
what a store.
quite.
This store's a fucking nightmare.
I was there for 6 years,
And then you went to 1381, right?
for
at the end
like
of your
6
career.
months or less.
Yeah, for like the end of your career. And it's
Basically,
like, you should have been to 1381 from the start, dude. 1381 was so good.
dude.
I don't miss my store at all.
Either way, what's up, kid?
It's cookies and cream.
Trent left a while ago, but he's returned. He's got my cookies and cream, you bitch! It's cool. Actually, I prefer you eat the ones that I melted in my car so we can finally get rid of them, but, you know, that's
Wait,
cool.
There's Hershey's cookies and cream?
I'll go get the bag.
Tell-
There's a whole fucking back.
How are you
There's
hiding the
2
cookies
bags.
and cream from the fat kid?
'Cause
Fuck you.
Because you walk through the front door.
Well, I was about to say
dumbass.
they're not exactly hidden. They're just out there in the kitchen.
They're in the middle of the kitchen.
Oh.
I'll go get the bag that we need to kill because
You have
we
that
need to
Clint
kill it.
Eastwood eyes.
You ever hear something so stupid it gives you Forrest Whitaker eye?
All the time. Like, too
Poor guy.
much.
What an actor though. What a great guy.
I wish... I want to like this actor. And it's not even... I know it's not just him. Like, I wanted to like him in Rogue One, but I could barely
Forrest
understand
Whitaker?
Well, his character. I
Oh.
like Forrest Whitaker.
But his character
Yeah,
is...
his character
Yeah,
is...
Saw's voice was weird in Rogue
I
One.
know what they were trying to do. It's just...
Where are they, Ray? What?
Well, no, that would be clarified. Like, I could hear
Every
what's
day,
happening.
more lies. But
Oh,
can it but know the truth?
Open it over the table so you can clean it
He
up.
got-
It will crumble.
Like, he was alright in Rogue One. He got really bad at Black Panther, though. Like,
Yeah.
The
Forrest?
sound... Yeah, the sound quality was fucking barely
It's all
there.
Disney quality.
Wasn't Rogue One a goddamn... No, wait.
It was
It was,
Solo.
it was Solo that was a goddamn miss because the actor was so bad or something like that?
No! It's because everybody went boycotting it for no damn reason.
Well,
they never gave the fucking movie
that
a
and
chance.
Lawrence Kasdan threw a shit fit.
Who was that?
No, it was...
He's
Was that
the
the kid who played Han?
He's the guy that wrote Empire Strikes Back. He's also the guy that wrote Indiana Jones. And,
Oh, yeah.
and he threw a shit fit when the Millers were deviating from his original script. It's like, dude, you're a fucking writer. I know you're an established writer, so there's a lot of respect I have for you. At the same time, when a director grabs that script, you gotta know to let that shit go and not fucking play politics into shit.
Yeah, it's not George Lucas. You can't walk all over him.
No. Yeah. And then Lawrence
I was
Kasdan
about to
threw a
open those
goddamn
up, but I
shit fit
decided
about...
not to.
No.
She came in with a whole upgrade over everything else. She's like,
Well, I saw
my
a
tea biscuits with chocolate.
a
That does look delicious,
completely
though.
closed box, and I
That's
decided
her
not to go
shit.
for it.
Like,
Yeah.
this is what we buy for us. She
Mhm.
bought that for herself. I've never tried them. And
Oh, yeah.
They're
no.
delicious.
Oh, and his dark. I saw those dark
I
chocolate.
feel like if
I'm
you-
a sucker for like that's my
I
favorite.
feel like if you stole that, there'd be a shanking involved.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, she'd use my dick against me.
No more dick!
So she...
But it's on me. No more dick!
So she reverse
Please.
octopus you.
Please. See, the fun thing that people don't realize is that, like, they look at, like, us and, like, maybe would evaluate physically that I may be more dangerous than her. And I look at them and go,
No.
She's a psychopath.
No,
she's not a psychopath. She's,
And a loving one.
no. She's well-read.
I know that dynamic all too well.
I know plenty of ways to
What?
kill people and hide the body.
Yeah, you also know how to spill milkshakes on people for no goddamn reason, you piece of shit.
So, tell that story now, I guess.
Yeah.
So, way back in the Disney.
Not you, asshole. Go ahead, I'm fucking with you.
I
I was the victim. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Well,
victim
what's
blaming.
the victim?
Victim
I was gonna
blaming
say,
101.
We're victim blaming
I've
here.
been complaining for how many years now? 5 years now?
Yeah,
Um,
probably more on
Only
like
5?
6. It was
You'll complain about this
2012
until
or
she's dead.
2013.
no, I
Evan,
was out of
Evan.
high school. That would have
Evan.
been
I bet. And I would actually allow this.
14. That would have been either late 13 or early 14.
Yeah.
I would
So-
allow this, Evan. You would bring this up till the day she dies before you, and then you would pour a milkshake on her casket.
God damn right I would! A fucking Oreo cookies and cream shake from fucking Steak
And
Shake.
It was chocolate.
No, mine was... Oh, yeah, that's right, because... God forbid you saved mine, but then threw the other fucking one on me.
I'd like to point out,
You
In the-
senile old bitch.
well,
I
that's,
love you.
you know, you're not
So-
you're not inaccurate.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
There were 3 shakes on it, and there was 1 chocolate shake on the other side of my
3
arm.
shakes of gray.
And then I picked up and put the other 2
And then
shakes
Evan got
down, and
fucked.
as I was putting down the second shake,
Is that how it normally goes?
Needless to say, she dropped the fucking shake on me. That Steak Shake when we were done with our food. This thing just comes tumbling onto me. I'm just like, fuck!
I have.
Wait, were you serving them?
yes,
I have a
Uh,
question.
it was a chocolate shake right on his lap.
Well, that wasn't what I was gonna ask.
Wow, that's the most black action you've had in your life in a long time, isn't it?
Ever.
What I was
Yeah.
gonna ask is, did it bring the boys to the yard?
No.
He was shriveled up. He wasn't going anywhere.
Nah.
He was scared of the cold. He was in for the winter.
He built an igloo around that shit.
The word is constriction.
It just went.
Yeah.
Welcome
At that point, you could call it Walt with how frozen it was.
So it was
back,
so
Mr.
cold.
Disney. Are the Jews gone yet? No, sir. Put me back in. Close his fucking casket. Best cutaway Family Guy's ever done was like, yeah, one time they tried to unfuck Disney, and then he does that, and I'm like, as a little kid, I didn't understand that at all.
Oh man.
Looking back now, holy shit.
Well,
That
no.
was funny.
The other one is when you're hanker for a hunka.
Jeez!
No.
What's
I need
wrong
off
with
here.
you? I just smoked a whole bunch of crack.
We'll go on that story after we finish
Hey!
this one.
I just said we need ox here.
Sounds.
I've met a man.
That's how all the good ones start.
No. He beats Aaron.
In size?
Yes. Ox is named Ox for a fucking reason. Dude is monstrous. And think of everyone seen Braveheart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, think of
Sure.
Mel Gibson's best friend character, the redhead.
Yeah.
More muscle than might, and brain more or less.
Yeah.
Not Ox. Ox can play that intuitive, subtle game where he plays big, brawn, brain dead, funny, dick jokes everywhere.
Yeah.
But he's reading the fuck out of you.
Okay.
And I don't think he's got the vocabulary type to play high articulate game.
Yeah.
He could.
He could,
Yeah.
but he's uninterested.
Okay.
He's the kind of guy that gets a brand new motorcycle and against like his more or less wife's wishes, and yeets because it shoots flames out the tailpipe. I saw red flames, and I was like,
my
Boys.
god.
yeah. So we get Ox down here for a podcast. I have to question who the fuck I'm bringing on with him, or if it's gonna be me and Ox doing a one-on-one and hoping to God I come out alive. I don't think I'll piss him off. I just think being near him is not cancerous; it's explosive.
I mean, Ox casually lifts, 150-pound women.
Yeah.
To me, like.
Deliver
you,
some.
You he
Same
would
day
use
delivery.
as a jousting pole. He would just use as a jousting pole.
Yeah.
Having a hard time there?
Yeah. Fuck.
Normally you're supposed to undo the wrapper first.
I did. I just didn't take the socks off or something. The bottom of it was still locked on.
Well, shit.
Well, maybe you had to take it for dinner first.
I ate one before it.
Well, if anybody's got a Switch and doesn't want to buy a PC, Overwatch is coming to the Switch on October 15th.
just got announced.
Yeah, that was leaked out weeks ago.
Well, it was leaked that Tracer was coming to Smash. That got confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Which is so stupid.
No, your
First
Overwatch announced it. They literally
No,
had
like Overwatch Play just announced it because Nintendo Direct just did like their full thing with it.
There was literally a leak that there
No,
was
I
a
know about the
Nintendo
leak.
Switch case with the Overwatch emblems on it. That's officially saying, hey, guess what? Overwatch is coming to the Switch.
I
Now
know,
there's
but
an
they had
official big deal release. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
I know.
by the way, although I've been sending you Tic Tacs and love letters without any names or writing on them, here's the official I want to bang.
Oh.
The only thing that pisses me off, if you pre-order it for the Switch, you get the Noir Widow skin. Like, that was an original launch
Yeah.
pre-order release skin.
And this is a launch, so like that's.
I feel kind of. It feels kind of like cheap that the
Yeah, but
Switch
they were
players
doing-
would get that.
They've been
skin
doing that with
now.
all the legendary skins anyway.
Yeah.
When they did with Heroes of the Storm, and now you can still get the
Yeah, true.
Okami or whatnot. The
Yeah.
Lucio DJ thing, which was
That
its
was
own.
fun. It still is fun.
Oh yeah, it's great to sit on a payload and just play tunes while you're still sitting there healing everyone with the payload's healing. Oh, I remember my hog. Me on hog on Eichenwald. Remember that play? I just sat down. Hey guys, this is
You
people over
piece of
just doing
shit.
some donkey level shit. I just make my character emote to where he sits down and it's an animation that only ends when you like make it move.
All of us are fighting and getting our
And I'm
dicks
just
kicked
like,
in. The
"Hey,
whole
guys,
rest of
there's a
the team is
pharaoh
like,
over
this
there."
fat ass is still sitting on the
I-
fucking payload.
I
I'm
sit-
like,
He's doing something.
I sat till we got to second point. I think I sat till we got the second point actually. At least halfway through it.
didn't fucking help at all, you son of a bitch.
I mean, he was moving the payload.
That
so-
doesn't count.
My objective time
Supports
was
are-
Dude,
gold.
it's more than most DPS will do sometimes.
Supports are the one that needs to be cared. I'm sorry, I hate when people play very passive. Like we were doing that on Blizzard, and I'm like Zenyatta, just like right clicking into the
Yeah, you gotta be
spawn.
active when you're fucking support.
Oh no, yeah, but like, they're like when we were playing with Zaire and Ragno and Chris today. Like we'd just taken like first point Blizzard World, we cleared them out, headshot.
First it's a fucking shake. Now there's fucking cookies and cream bars flying at my fucking mouth.
Yeah, this time it's got a little bit of white involved. So
You slut.
Shit.
yeah, don't fall. I don't need. I don't need new floors.
I just picked that up.
I hope they
And this fat ass sat on the payload for an entire 5 minutes. You want a cookie?
Hey, I was only fat because I was Roadhog. You're fat all the time.
Hey, at least he maintains his figure.
I maintain mine. I've been skinny and sexual since high school.
Well, I'm sexual, I'll say that.
We both are. With the other hand.
Yeah.
What was it? No, I was pushing hard forward to like play a spawn camp game because we just team wiped them and it's like, you know, QP, so there's no coordination. I'm way the fuck. Reinhardt's sitting there with his shield up on the payload.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was that shithead.
And I was like, get fucking forwards. Make them sit in their spawn like little bitches.
I find it interesting, like the dynamic of online play, like as far as people that actually play as a team or just like actually like
still do
on
their
a
own
consistent
damn thing?
basis. Well, because I've never had a I was actually just mentioning this to you. It's just like I've never had a friend group that I actually ever really did anything like online with.
Yeah.
So I was always more of a
Solo player.
yeah. I was always more interested in that then made it to where I was always more interested in. I wasn't
Solo
really. I
narrative
didn't
games
really
and
care about multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, since COD 4, I haven't really played any multiplayer at all.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you know what I have played recently, just for nostalgia. That's complete nostalgia, just because it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's just actually the series is the Jack and Daxter trilogy.
Yeah.
I just finished those.
My heart.
I have
I'm on,
it.
I'm, on the,
Babes.
I'm on the third one right now. I'm
There's some
75%
hot
of the way through
long-eared
it.
elves, man. I don't know what the fuck, but
Dude, the gameplay
the
wise.
story-wise is great.
Dude,
Story
it
is
was.
amazing, and you know what? They could have easily made it into a fourth one by
They
actually.
could have.
They-
by actually having
number three. Number three felt way shorter than number 2.
Well, because
And
it
I
was
only came in
it
at
was
2.
easier. It was an easy.
Yeah.
The gameplay is actually easier.
They
That
toned down a lot of it because 2, there was some shit in 2 where it was broken. It was unreasonably broken. Like
it was
who thought this was a good idea?
no. There
this
there
was
were
a fuck you committee. Is what
there
it
well
was.
because there were no checkpoints in 2.
Yeah.
no,
There were no checkpoints, and the difficulty on it was extremely high, and you only had
Yeah.
like your health bar was like 4 hits in your.
You had 6 hits at max, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. But
But that was also what Jack and Daxter was like. You had 3, maybe 4 at the most.
Oh yeah, no, they really buffed you up in Jack and Daxter, and even some of the fighting was kind of toned down. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is just a fighting.
Yeah, but then Jack 3, by the end of it, you're just
well,
gone.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're
Jack
walking around in
3,
the angel form, just like
well, as soon as you get the reflective blaster, like
you get yellow, you get reflective,
and that happens really
everywhere.
early on in the game.
It does. But I come to find I was using the others, and it was a little more interesting to use the other
Nuke.
weapons. It just takes a lot of your ammo though, so I don't use that one often.
Oh, I didn't.
I used it.
I wonder if I could
once.
play that, man. Because when you finally got the 4th gun, and it's just this vaporizing ball shot or whatnot it was.
Yeah.
No, I thought
Peacemaker.
I thought the nuke was the latest one.
No, that's the 3rd tier for the purple.
But when you first get
Because you initially had the shotgun with red,
Yeah.
and that would upgrade.
Oh, you mean the grenade launcher?
No, he's
had
talking about the first
No,
tier.
the shotgun would eventually become a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
The yellow gun was your main
You're talking about the purple.
semi-automatic that would turn into the reflective, and then it would launch a drone.
Yes.
The 3rd one was your chain gun.
Yeah.
That would then go into an electric shot. That was just a rail or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what a rail gun is, to be honest. And then it would shoot just these micro missiles. So you could drive around on a motorcycle and just send that auto, and it would just auto find and just murder everything around you.
It's essentially the Needler.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. And then the 4th one was like
the Peacemaker.
The Peacemaker.
That's what it was called.
Okay.
But it was like, was it like electric orbs? They would just shoot.
Yeah, that's the first tier.
Shit.
The 2nd tier is anti-gravity gun, and the 3rd tier was the nuke.
Yeah, just.
But it took
the whole screen goes white.
But it took a lot of your ammo.
Yeah, but like it's still just.
It killed all your enemies though. Yeah.
Everything's dead on the screen, and like you have no one chasing you anymore.
I wish that worked for the final boss fight because that was also frustrating because it's this giant walker thing. You'd have to shoot all these little bubbles, but it's not like they're easy to find.
What was the 3rd boss? I can't remember Jack. I remember Jack too because I had to face that boss so many times.
It was a giant
there was
walker from outer space, and you have to shoot these little bubbles to get it to stop walking.
Yeah.
But you're going through the desert, so you have a lot of terrain to get through.
and
it's shooting mines down at you.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely epic, but God, it's frustrating.
Yeah, no. Jack 2 is frustrating with the final
boss.
boss.
Jack 2 is just the difficult. Like when going through the trilogy like back to back, you can definitely feel like Jack 2 is just like, okay, the difficulty, like they obviously
cheated.
The 3rd one is definitely feels shorter just because the difficulty was not there.
Well, they also adjusted the cheat code game to it as well.
You didn't have to work for it.
You didn't have to repeat the same thing 50 times.
Yeah. There were some openings, especially when you only had the shotgun. And you had to realize you had to learn it was a shotgun. You're like, I have only gained like 5 more range.
Yep.
And then you finally get the yellow gun. And you're like just spinning and shooting everything in a circle. Just
because I played Jack 2 so much, there was very few parts where I was actually stumped on. But my buddy Alex started playing it, and he almost threw the fucking PlayStation 4 away. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, this game is gonna get fucking worse. Like. This game is nothing but fuck you.
There's one level. I remember as a kid, I could never get by, and then I found out all you had to do is just avoid everything by just getting on the hoverboard and just passing by everybody.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like,
no
fucking work.
Stupid simple answer. It's just like
I know, but like because like I would originally try fighting, I'm just like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way.
Sure, yeah.
And then I did it about 50 times, and then I had a friend who was just like, oh, just get on the hoverboard. I'm just like.
Oh, okay.
And then I tried it first try. And
there's certain points where where all your memory, I think your mind is so devoted to that frustrating point, you actually later on forget the cinematic that happens afterwards. Like all you remember is like this fucking island, this fucking bullshit could kill anything. But I was 2 health, and then there's like a defining plotline cinematic.
But there is something about. That when a game is like that, like that's part of
it just builds the emotional connection.
That's part of like what makes it like to me like one of the better trilogies is because you actually felt like you actually had to work for the game and like
I know it's not a trilogy or anything, but do you guys remember Okami?
No.
Oh, was that the Firewolf thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was huge for so many people. Like artistically, I think
it was beautiful because it was the Japanese style of painting for all of the artwork.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And so you actually had to do brush strokes as your attacks, and you could like grow trees as like. It was fantastic.
It has a huge following, and I think it's because the artistic style is one thing, but there had to be some other level, and apparently it's that, and maybe the storyline. I'm remembering, what was that one game where it was a comic book style, and there was this guy that looked like Captain Falcon, but like shorter, and it was a platformer-looking thing? Oh my gosh, what the fuck
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a game I had on Nintendo 64 that my cousin gifted to me because it had one open save left because it was one of those weird Rareware games that you couldn't delete the saves.
What?
What
the fuck?
On N64 it was Jet Force
I guess I heard
Gemini.
about children, or I heard about kids killing their younger siblings for deleting their Pokemon save slots.
But it was Jet Force Gemini, and I never got past that damn game on the N64. Rare Replay comes out for the Xbox One. I ran through Jet Force Gemini like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, so this is what actually happens at the end of this fucking game.
So you know what?
So I was like,
you know what?
Where his save left off, there was another like 9 worlds to find.
Fuck.
And I was like, but we went to the home world of like, because like the whole thing is like you're this like intergalactic space force. It's you, the chick, and a dog.
Yeah.
Saving little precious white Ewoks from this tyrannical like ant army, and you have like blue
Sounds like
ants that
Ender's
were just,
Game
like,
a little bit too.
Yeah, a little bit. And it was like blue ants were your like normal soldiers. They had red ants.
Was this
that were
top-down RTS or something, or what?
No, it was 3PS or third person.
Yeah.
So it was just like
3PS.
3PS. Fuck off.
Yo, my favorite will
3PS,
always
but-
be Pikmin.
Oh, Pikmin was beautiful. I miss that game so much.
I'm so sad it's not on Steam.
Right?
I would-
None of the classic,
Oh,
none of
Nintendo
the
Get your
the
shit
big
together,
3
Steam.
PlayStation 2 games that like so you had Jack and Daxter, you had Sly Cooper, and you had Ratchet and Clank. Like those are like the big 3.
Yeah. Those are
None of those are on Steam.
yeah.
None of them.
Steam's got a lot of for. No, so here's a game that took a Game Shark to win, and when I beat it, I was so sad. Was Rampage 2. I beat that shit, and the final monster you get is so underwhelmingly disappointing. I want to buy a copy just to put a hammer to it. And when I played it again as an adult, by like getting to the second or third country, I was bored. Because then you realize like, oh wow, this is incredibly repetitive.
Did anyone here ever get into the Final Fantasy?
No,
No,
Final
never
Fantasy
gone
7 I need to get to
I,
it in some way or something
I
like that.
did those
but-
off and off. I did 10 all the
Big
way
fan of
through.
7.
12 I
10?
played a little bit.
The 3 I played are 7, 10, and 10-2. There's one of them where you can play like it's kind of like Rocket League actually.
Mhm.
Annoyed the crap out of me.
Talking about
We know.
Blitzball?
Yeah.
I love Rocket League when Gungan plays.
Oh, because
Because
Gungan
all
don't
he
just
does
go
is-
around blowing people up, man.
I'm just like,
Look
yeah,
up!
damn right I get the score.
If Gungan scores, it's a miracle and an accident at the same time. Like,
Isn't
No,
it normally how Rocket League works?
no,
It does for
man.
me.
No,
Like,
not for him.
When we were at the hookah lounge, I'm watching some
When
dude
you
play
have
Rocket
some
League
people
there,
that,
and I'm
like,
just
actually
watching
know
him
what the
going
fuck
like
they're
he
doing.
is about a tier 2 above me because he had wall game, he had aerial game.
I finally got aerial game. I was like, thank God. Because my wall climbing's fun. I love wall climbing.
Yeah, but he
And
had all
Compy
tiers.
was always like, hey, he's a little Spider-Man. Hey, fuck him. I'm just like, God damn
Compy
it,
is
Compy.
Compy has a certain level, and you broke it that one time. Compy has a certain level of fucked up, like with alcohol, to where he's still positively impactful in the game,
yeah.
One more.
but funny as hell. Like, because he's a high energy kind of person. He's the Picard, as was painted actually by the group. He's the Picard of the Enterprise, and Josh I think is Spock. And then it disperses from there. I think that's something like that. But I know Picard is or Kirk.
Kirk, thank
Kirk-
you, God.
Kirk is
I was
Compy.
about
That's
to
with
reach
Spock.
across this table and pimp
I'm
slap
way
you.
off. I never watched the shit.
It's funny because I was watching The Search for Spock this morning.
Yeah, but
Did you ever?
Compy is the emotional heart of the Discord.
Did you ever watch?
And Josh is a
Orville?
salt mine.
Watch what?
But Michelle like
I'll
shitting on him
finish
is the best thing
before.
ever.
Did you ever watch Orville?
No.
Want to? Did we just get Hulu basically? Yeah, we just got
it'll
Hulu.
still be on there.
Watch it.
Yeah.
No,
like
it's good.
Star Trek, but funny
It's just like
and
it
wholesome.
I've been told like after
Seth
the first couple
MacFarlane,
episodes
man.
is
It's the
when it
best of
picks
Seth
up.
MacFarlane in a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it is.
Because he hasn't done anything really noteworthy until Oracle.
Because all it does is
Orville.
it takes the universe of Star Trek and just makes it as if real people would react to it, not just characters.
Yeah.
So it plays off as a sitcom, but there's definitely serious shit in it as well.
Yeah.
Because
So
my
it's-
mom's a Trekkie.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yeah.
mom literally has, like, my grandpa got all of them, like, little mini Christmas trees so she'd get all the spaceships and everything else. My mom got the,
Yeah,
she
you want
was
to sit
my
down on her
grandpa's
mom.
first
She's
generation.
Yeah.
I have picked prime mother-in-law.
I'm more of a Warzy than this Trekkie, but I can appreciate Star Trek now that I'm not stuck in that stupid rivalry that the.
I'm a Harry
fandoms
Potter
have.
fan until the crazy fandom shows up.
Oh, God.
Dude, that was.
I'm a Star Wars fan until those assholes show up and start bashing on Kathleen Kennedy.
Well,
Wait,
I will not agree
from-
that everything she's done has been
yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy?
good. She's the president
She's
of
the,
Lucasfilm.
yeah, currently
okay.
the head of it right now, but I don't agree with everything she does.
Oh,
but-
what was
Oh,
that
the-
Dark Ray thing? What was that? Was that
Oh,
just like
that-
a trailer that
That's
like?
a trailer thing, yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, okay.
here's what we're going on. You're gonna like this.
Because I don't want
That's
to.
not gonna be real. So that's gonna
I figured
follow
that's
how
not-
the cave worked in episode 5,
Yeah.
where Rey's gonna fight herself. And
Solid.
it's gonna be this
That'll be
dark
cool.
premonition
It's
that
like Bleach.
Palpatine puts onto her.
It's Bleach.
And
How do you know this? Just from reading other
No,
non-canon?
this
or-
is this. Well, I mean,
You're pulling
both
this out of your ass.
Extended universe and other canon,
Yeah.
pretty much. But
Because the thing is that Rey has to be the ultimate pinnacle of actually realizing this
Yeah.
universe properly, and
I mean, that'll.
so
unfortunately, like Skywalker didn't bring balance to the universe, or did he?
no, he
prophetic-
threw it out of balance again.
yeah.
Well, okay, so here's finish yours.
Or
And
unless-
finish yours, and
yeah.
I have the thing where he actually did bring balance.
So he did and he didn't bring balance to it. Where he didn't bring balance to it because he brought the Jedi Order back, and this whole
Skywalker?
time, yeah, bringing the Jedi Order back.
Luke
was-
did.
Yeah,
Okay. No,
that's
I
what
was gone
threw
Anakin.
that's what threw the balance out of whack.
No.
Anakin did technically somewhat balance it out.
Yes.
Where
Oh, yeah.
when they executed Order 66 and the purge was over, you literally had
2 and 2.
Yoda, Luke,
No, you-
Obi-Wan when he died, and then
All you had was Yoda and Obi-Wan and Vader and Palpatine.
And then
Yeah.
there were like other Jedi.
and then
Yeah, loose
Obi-Wan
ones.
Dark side
died,
people.
which then let Luke take the mantle of that second.
Yes.
Yo, I'm
So,
still
with
sad
this
that Jar
one,
Jar Binks
what I-
was not the main.
That's a whole.
Have
That's
you heard? Have you heard that?
That's
Yeah,
a whole,
yeah,
that's a
I
whole
was-
other podcast.
you know,
Don't
I'm
even
honestly
get
sad about
started.
that.
No, no, I
should
Have
have
you
whole
seen
other
that full
podcast.
breakdown?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
No,
Dude.
there was a
wanted
part of
to
me.
have-
I'm just like I want to see that happen just because I know so many people. Kind of the same thing with the terrible joke. How I love the reaction to the terrible joke. That's why I
Yeah.
like terrible jokes. Same exact thing.
You would love to watch the world burn.
Yes.
You know, for a really
you know,
nice,
that's-
white-looking, handsome motherfucker that plays music out of,
You know,
you're a
Max
piece of
Verstappen-
shit.
Well, you know, that's actually why I enjoyed Last Jedi. Like, I enjoyed the movie for itself, even though it definitely has its flaws.
Well-
but I also love the reaction of everybody. Like, oh, come on! I'm like, guys.
Well,
It's a
so
fucking
that's
Star
something
Wars
that
movie.
that we can get back onto what you were saying, but I didn't. I'm not so heavy into it where I didn't understand the gripe that a lot of people had against the Last Jedi or the last two movies. I don't really fully understand the gripe that people have against it because I thought it was a good. Like I don't go into it with any expectation, so I thought it was a decent. I thought it was a good
literally
movie.
what I did. I'm
That's
like,
why I watch trailers.
I enjoyed the fuck out
Yeah,
of it. And then all these people who are like apparently bigger fans of me, according, is just like, oh no, they fucked this up and they fucked this up, and I'm like,
The only thing that got fucked up properly in any big franchise was like Dumbledore yelling at Harry Potter in the fourth movie. That's the only thing that was properly fucked up because that betrays his character
No.
entirely.
I was so sad when the first Dumbledore passed because he was literally perfection for Dumbledore.
He was. And then they bring in this hippie-looking motherfucker.
Who still did very well.
yeah.
He has a strong acting style. It just doesn't fit Dumbledore. Dumbledore has this like, not like a little less weak-looking than the first one, like a little more strength, but then he just got too young, and he's supposed to have that white hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what was so perfect. He had the measuredness and the tonality, and all he needed was just a little more youth. and he would have been perfect for at least getting to the combat scene, like in the Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Those are actually really
When he has that
good
fight with
scenes.
Voldemort.
I'm surprised they didn't George Lucas the first two to get the old guy out and put the new guy in to scenes like how they did with
The original
Yoda.
trilogy.
Yeah, well, that and how they did with Yoda.
Did they actually CGI Yoda in the old
They
ones?
CGI'd Yoda into Episode 1.
Oh, pure CGI him?
Because, they pure CGI'd him into Episode 1 afterwards, like during the secondary release of it, because they put him to the model that Episode 2 and 3 used.
I think there are versions where the original trilogy end up putting the CGI version in there, and I'm like,
If
Well,
there
I was
are,
thinking-
I'm going to
do that.
slap
I thought you
someone
were
with a
referring to
hammer.
where they actually turned the Emperor and actually brought in the episodes 1, 2, and 3 Emperor. They CGI'd or just
no, it's the same
transposed him.
guy.
Yeah, it's always been the same guy.
Oh,
always-
not in
No,
Empire
no.
though. In Empire, they use no label.
No, in A New Hope, in the original 3, like
he
it,
wasn't in it.
No,
it wasn't him. They
removed
removed the original ugly looking Emperor and put in
from
put
Episode
in
5. Yeah, that was during the 90s release
Yeah,
of the original
4
trilogy.
didn't have the Emperor in it.
and
5 did.
6 had that was the first look of Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor,
yeah.
and then they brought him in as Palpy McScrotums in 1, 2, and 3 because he looks like a scrotum by the end of the
Look,
film.
if,
Yeah, he does when he's electrocuted
but-
himself.
You know.
if Mel Brooks ends up making Spaceballs, if he didn't make it already, Seth MacFarlane has to be President Screw.
Spaceballs is already a thing.
No.
The second
Spaceballs
one.
2. I'm telling
The Quest
you
for More
right,
Money.
I'm telling you right now. That thing has been recorded and locked in a vault, and is only to be released on Mel Brooks' death.
I believe it.
That's where it is. That's where the damn movie is.
I believe
It's his
it.
last fuck you to the whole universe and F you to Netflix because they took Blazing Saddles off Netflix.
Bastards.
Because a bunch of people got all uppity about the N-word being used in the movie
Oh yeah.
and being released. And I was like, well, you have to look at it. It was used in a non-racial way.
Well, that's when they were going on
by
about. They had the same thing
making
for
the
Huckleberry
satire
Finn.
of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People had the same issue about Huckleberry Finn because the N word is used in its harshest form,
Yeah.
but it's also contextual. And we're always going back to where they don't care to follow context and they're just playing sensitive.
They know they need
Like
to
PC
do,
is the worst thing that's ever happened.
They
Wait,
need to
wait,
do
you
what
go
Warner
back-
Bro- My
Yeah,
bad.
PC Master Race.
Tyler first.
Well, they need to do what Warner Brothers does, and just like it's within that context, it's there. And if it just so happens to be like what they intended when Warner Brothers made the production at the time, it's like we do not endorse these views, but these are a part of history, and we're not going to alter it for that purpose.
Yeah.
But as opposed to what those are, is just like no, there's a context there, and like you said, they're ignoring it.
Well,
Yeah.
so what I'm enjoying. Did you have your point?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, like, just go back and watch what Jamie Foxx says about it to Joe Rogan. Like, when he said he's just talking about it, like when he's talking about Django Unchained, and he's just like, you just have to understand, like, by when Quentin Tarantino, like, when he was looking at, like, he like talked to other people about stuff like that. He's like, should I include it? Should I not? And he thought it would be, the whole thing was just like, if you didn't include it, you'd be doing a disservice to what the actual intention of the era and to like to the setting of the actual thing.
It's like the fact that history books now say the colonizers came to the United States and the Native Americans just politely decided to move.
Yeah,
That's what they have in
I know.
textbooks now
I
about
know,
the
and
Trail
I'm
of Tears.
Fucking irritated about it because it's like, no, but
We
okay,
massacred.
okay, fine. I voluntarily walked away to not get shot. Okay, yeah, like they volunteered all right with a gun in their face.
That was actually something that came up because of our group that does the Adventureland Day events out at Magic Kingdom.
Is your cosplay group or
No,
something
it's
else?
a friend of mine that I knew from preschool. He actually is the head of the East Coast operation of it.
What is this thing? And what does it do?
So Adventureland Day is an unofficial Disney day that the skippers.
What's the name of the day again? Because you're saying it too fast for me.
Adventureland Day.
Adventureland Day. Okay.
It was originally a game that the skippers of the Jungle Cruise played out at Disneyland, and every year they always had it as an unofficial day. And for a good number of years, it was actually kept under wraps, and only a really
employee
tight-knit
circle.
group would know about it.
Yeah.
And it fell out of tradition because World even picked it up when they opened, and it just fell out of tradition. And then 2 years ago, a former skipper, but now he's the designer who designed Trader Sam's Grog Grotto,
Okay.
both at the Polynesian and in Disneyland.
Okay.
Tiki Tony brought the event back, and he's pretty much like done this whole thing where now it's a full unofficial day. Land helps them out with everything. They do sanctions.
Disney World or Disneyland?
Land helps
California.
them. Yeah, so Land helps their event by they sanction off sections during their scavenger hunt. They do special seating areas for their group. World doesn't have the space to do it, so they're not able to help us as much with Adventureland Day. But we do a secondary event called the Lost Safari Party at Animal Kingdom. And Animal Kingdom is able to help us more. So we have entire sections set off just for us this coming Sunday. Because last year we did it around the Asia section. This year we're doing it around the Africa section. And we usually do like a little old-timey film reel leading up to announce the event. And we had to go to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we filmed like a whole bit. And afterwards, we went to Victoria Falls to the bar just to have drinks and like a little bit of food. Someone took a picture of us and posted it on the Disney Cringe page and called us a bunch of fucking racists for showing up in colonizer outfits.
Wow.
To the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
What?
Because of all the actual African employees.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're just trying to whitewash the entire venue. What? That's all we are. Is just a bunch of racists. And I'm just sitting here like...
Do you know any history at all?
Like,
any?
Did you know not every person that went out in full adventure garb was trying to kill people or enslave people?
Yeah, some were just trying to fuck Tarzan.
Yeah, thank you.
Like,
you know, like we were... people were trying to learn, and that's what we're built on, and is what Disney Sea is built on, which is the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, which... the old Adventurers Club in Pleasure Island was a part of. Yeah. And that just fell out, and you know that's what we're tied to is all of that like secret society stuff. And
that's
I'm like,
literally
that's racist.
That's
man.
a virtue signaling individual on that left side, just trying to create, you know.
Is Tarzan racist at that point?
Oh no, we made fake accounts to go in on the page. There are some people that just let us have it. Like there were almost 2,000 comments. Yeah. That we were just all shuffling through. Some of it got horrible. Yeah. Like, there were some people that's like, you know, these people should be banned from Disney property.
So, the biggest thing is people just want something to be offended about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
it became a high currency thing to be offended.
I actually...
Well, say the whole concept, if you go searching for something specific, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it earlier, it's just like...
If you try.
The way we should be is every holiday should be an excuse to get drunk. And we'd be better for that. But no, every holiday now is an excuse to get freaking offended. And while it's a different topic, at the same time, it's just like, you do these days, so you remember these days, you learn the mistakes of this past, and you build a better future out of it.
The only positive signs I've seen that we're starting to understand, at least as a society, at least Western society, understanding that PC culture is actually very toxic towards free speech, is when James Gunn gets to come back. And then I think, did Kevin Hart get to host the Oscars? Or he said fuck him?
He said
fuck
no,
him.
he
like they like
because
no,
at that
and then
point
he
it
said
was
yes, and then he said fuck you.
Well, because at that point it was almost like the whole experience, it
was tarnished.
He was open to apology, but at the end he just said fuck him because they kept wish-washing.
Well, the thing is that Kevin, hopefully his surgery worked out as well because he's kind of
Oh yeah, just
the thing is that Kevin has this interesting thing where he wants to be likable, and I don't think there's any mountain he's willing to stand on and die on other than his family, and that's his own. Yeah. But yeah, no. All I see there with your situation is the classic just virtue signaling game, and what we're sort of dealing with, which is where, like, the whole purpose I'm doing for this is on the same sort of vein of just free speech games. So like, we're not going to say the N-word here.
No.
But like, I'm not exactly concerned with YouTube because I'm archiving everything I record and make. Yeah. So YouTube's marketing. Make my own site if I need to for other shit for hosting and embedding or whatnot. Yeah. And just run from there because I looked at Rooster Teeth when I was there in 2015. I was like, I want to make my version of this and either buy Rooster Teeth or be bought by them.
Yeah. And actually, it really kills me with people I know that do YouTube and it's like, oh no, they're deleting all my stuff. It's like, why don't you have like a hard drive? Yeah. Why don't you have a hard drive of all that? Well, YouTube's gonna keep all my shit. Like, yeah, then they're gonna feel like deleting it one day, and then it's gonna be like, no, like they could literally feel like deleting it. Yeah. You didn't read that terms and service agreement, did you?
You don't. You rely on someone else to take care of your ass.
Brower lose?
Huh?
How much of Young Mario Brothers did Brower lose?
Not even that specifically. but he is
over
a
reliant.
self-inflicted victim of that.
Oh,
But no, there are other people I know. It's just like, why did YouTube delete my shit? It's like, well, either you did legitimately violate a rule, and thus they have the right to, or you're relying on somebody else, like you said, relying on somebody else's platform to do things for you that you should be doing yourself as a content creator.
Yeah.
Like
So.
you should, like Deb.
If you really care about the videos that much to the point like where you want to have them archived, you should have them archived yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's just like,
This is where we go back to the personal responsibility game,
yeah,
and that's needing a revival. And
it really does.
That's about where I'm at with that one.
Revival.
And I think that's where a lot of the PC culture
PC culture is not.
it grows out of. It's just like
PC culture cares about people's feelings. It doesn't care about like personal
Well, they
responsibility. Like take care of your own shit. I'm sorry that like your feelings are hurt and that's something to like be dealt with.
yeah,
But that's a one-on-one deal with. Like if I hurt the feelings of someone that I have a relationship with of some kind, whether it's professional or something like
Yeah.
that, that's a thing.
yeah,
Like if an entertainer, like a stand-up comic is the best thing because if stand-up comics can't exist in the country, it's very obvious free speech is dead.
Yeah.
That's my metric. If stand-up comics cannot talk about anything and everything,
yeah.
then free speech is dead in that country.
Mm-hmm.
So, by that extension, shit. Stick with me, come on. Yeah, lost that one.
PC culture.
Well, see,
free speech.
PC culture cares about the emotions, doesn't care about truth, whatnot.
They don't, but
So, like, when we're concerned about, like, if an entertainer, if a stand-up comic, like, offends a whole town, that's its own sign.
yeah,
Of just like, sorry, Detroit, sorry, wherever, but moving on.
yeah,
Like, hanging out and dwelling on, like, a misspeak from an entertainer or a public figure, you can kind of chill the fuck out. Like,
Honestly.
making big deals out of someone getting offended, which isn't a big deal.
Well, and it's like the new phrase, how do you get what you want is to say I'm offended.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like stepping forward. They're trying to hold other people accountable, but it's like you said, what are you doing with your own life?
I'm
where-
offended that you made that comment.
Yeah,
Oh, what
I'm
did I
so
say
sorry.
to someone? What did I say to someone? And this is going into something that's not even PC. It's like, are you assuming your own gender?
Oh my god.
Oh, you talking
Oh,
about?
There
during
are-
that
there
fucking
are
match.
people-
Oh, wait, with
I know some people that
Oh,
joke
we were
about
just
it.
fucking around with people on Overwatch.
No, but
and,
there was for 2021?
Hey,
or-
no sidebar.
for 2020 or what is it called? The
Presidential race or
no, the game that's just about to come out for Cyberpunk.
Oh, it's Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. When they that was the comment they made and people like they had to come back and be like, sorry about that, but they made that comment.
Yeah.
It's like, you assuming gender?
Yeah.
People need to quit apologizing because
Well, that's what's funny. So the superpower actually of the video game area, the Twitch culture, is their autism, and that's like no joke. So like the lefties went off and they're just rotating around, burning people alive. All the nice celebrities that like aren't trying to do any harm, but they've been taught to apologize.
Yeah.
And so you watch like politically, Republicans never apologize, so they
Yeah.
get away with shit. Meanwhile, like someone tried to pull some of that gender or whatever bullshit, and they tried to do it to Twitch or to the gaming community, which in games appeal to autistic people very strongly because here's very clear metrics for success,
Yeah.
as opposed to the world, which can be infinitely ambiguous.
Yeah.
And that's where like until like the best way to get autistic kids in school to be well socialized is to put them with the normal kids.
yeah,
And tell the normal kids like this kid's autistic, here's their things, help them get socialized,
yeah,
and that works. That has been proven to work.
yeah,
So the funny thing is that when the lefties, the extreme left, tried to show up on the doorstep of the gamer culture to try to like shame them or whatever
Yeah.
on being sexist or bullshit or whatever,
yeah.
all the autistic fuckers came right. I think it was Milo that pointed this out. They came right the fuck back and slapped the shit out of them with like stats and real shit. Like, you can get the fuck out of here then. So like the superpower of dealing with the overly sensitive, virtue signaling left is autism.
It's their counter.
Because if you bring that to any like, I guess
You're saying you could actually win a discussion or an argument with logic or
Yes,
with
yes,
statistics
yeah,
and
that's-
with statistics and data to back up your argument.
Yes. Yeah. Well, welcome to like.
It's
you know,
amazing. It's
welcome-
amazing.
welcome to-
It's a crazy. It's a
welcome
crazy
to a
idea.
non-ideological discussion.
We don't speak facts and truth
favorite
here.
one is I've decided that I'm going to be an anti-vaxxer, but I'm having trouble finding scientific articles proving my point. Can you guys provide me some? You mean you can't find scientific articles
Did you
that
guys see
support
the-
that? Don't you
Wait,
think that maybe means?
Dr. Karen, though, I heard, also has several articles on anti-vaxxing and many Yelp reviews on Walmart.
What was it? Oh yeah, that Reddit post with the guy that was interning to be a doctor.
Oh, I gotta find that.
Find that so that I'll read that aloud for everyone. The other thing is Dara Breen is one of my very favorite comics actually of all time, and he's so unknown in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
He's an Irish comic who hosts Mock the Week over in Britain.
Fucking fantastic show, by the way.
Fantastic show, Mock the Week. It'd be great if I want to actually make that show here. I just need to find enough local comics that are, and then just have the production to do it. Because all you do is just do current events, and then at the end you just here's your prompt, things you had never seen shown on a drama, and just run. They just go up to the mic and just run their post.
Oh, whose line is it anyway?
It's better. Because the thing is that it's all stand-up comics, so they might have their own bits they're throwing in there, especially when they get to certain segments.
Yeah.
But more or less, they're just fucking with each other back and forth, because it's 3v3 with Dara as host.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll be like, what is, this, or what's this news, or what does this picture have to do with?
It's here's the answer. Give me what the question is.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just
there are a whole
freeform
bunch
with
of
comics.
different games.
It's freeform comics, so live, it could be underwhelming or pretty good.
Yeah.
But then when it's cut down for TV, then it can be pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Dara has a thing, and Dara is great because he actually plays a very hard interaction with the crowd, but very warm. So everyone that's at the front aisle knows that they're pretty much on deck to be interacted with for the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna get your name, gonna get what you do, what's the most amazing thing you've ever done, and he'll just refer. He has the quick Scotch Irish English wit to just keep playing back and forth with that, but he never turns anyone into an actual enemy.
Yeah.
He just fucks with them a little bit, and he doesn't.
Okay.
He's not shitty towards anyone. So he has 3 specials that you can find on YouTube, and they're all rewatchable because it's so great. But he has one for homeopathy. It's just water, and that's his whole thing for just anti-scientific shit, because he's a science nerd. You got that Reddit post yet?
Yeah, I'm just
Pull it
trying
up,
to find
Jamie.
a bigger. Just trying to find a bigger. There we go.
Pull up the whole photo.
That is the whole photo.
That is the whole photo. Oh dear God.
That's why I was trying to find the bigger one.
Good luck.
That's what she said. Pussy.
I
Boomtown.
don't have Reddit on my phone.
No, it just needed to be texted to me.
Here.
Just text it to me, and I'll probably be able to look at the
Whiskey.
Oh wait.
Boomtown. I love my wife like I love my mother-in-law like I love my wife.
Intensely.
I'll deal with that bullshit later.
You hear about that camping trip? It was intense.
Unplug yourself? Please do. Oh jeez.
I can't get it up on Reddit.
You didn't have the text it to me option on the share?
She couldn't get it up.
What? I had literally the thing open. How could you not find the text message?
There you go.
When you're hanker for a hunka. Jeez.
There we go.
It's probably the most wholesome.
When your get up and go has get up and went.
Oh dear.
Hello.
I'm sorry. It's 3 in the morning. I'm really tired.
Look, a wagon wheel.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I just smoked a whole bunch of crack.
That's probably the most wholesome game of Quiplash we have
Oh,
played.
hell yeah, it was. That's the
Let me
one
save
game of
this.
Quiplash the neighbor didn't want to shoot us for.
No, because
Where is this?
Chris-
Okay.
But
So
we'll
posted
finish
by
the story later.
was this posted by Arcane Ruby? I don't even think it says what subreddit it's on. Doctors of Reddit. What are some of your anti-vax parent stories? Question mark. Posted by Arcane Ruby. This is Haliax post. 4th year med student reporting in. Had a rotation with a pediatrician where we ended up in a classic encounter with an anti-vaccination parent.
Mm-hmm.
This lady was a conspiracy theory magnate. She casually mentioned everything from 9/11 to chemtrails.
Oh God, I remember this.
Of course, she loved the idea of the vaccine conspiracy as well, opting to not protect her 1-year-old to stick it to big pharma. I relayed all this to my attending after my exam. I would see the patient first, gather history, do my exam to present to my attending physician. He got the sort of lazy smirk on his face that screamed, "Watch this." We go back into the exam room. We cover all the important bits of a well-child encounter. Growth charts, behavioral milestones, nutrition, sleep. And then we get to vaccines. She lists approximately 15 reasons why vaccines are more dangerous than the disease they protect against. Lol. In addition to the various evils of the pharmaceutical industry. My attending listens quietly until she's done with her soapbox, about one eternity later, and then interjects with, "Have you considered the possibility that anti-vax propaganda could be an attempt by the Russians or the Chinese to weaken the health of the United States population?" In a moment of catastrophic cognitive dissonance, I swear I heard a strange popping noise as her brain misfired. It actually broke her. The allure of the increasingly ridiculous conspiracy theory was just too strong. She ended up agreeing to a modified vaccine schedule. I was flabbergasted. My attending just grinned at me in response. To this day, I'm not sure the medical ethics of the situation are totally palatable, but goddamn, the result was amazing. Edit. Thanks for the internet points. Remember, folks, it's all for the kids.
Oh my
Do it for the
God.
children.
And first comment. Modern problems require modern solutions.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So, out conspiracy the conspirators.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess-
it's like
Got out crazy the crazy.
Well, it's funny. It's just like the whole resurgence of like flat Earth and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It started out as a joke. Like the guy.
Oh, yeah. But
and
like-
then people took it. They're just like, oh, there's a.
I
this
need to
is
see.
valid.
I need to see if Lloyd actually went to the Flat Earth convention that happened back in like November.
Do they have members around the globe?
Like, look.
Yes.
Say it again,
Yes, they do.
but slower. No, Lloyd wanted to go there with like a camera and interview all of them and like just fuck with them.
Oh, Eric Andre style.
Something like that. I don't know.
Eh.
Lloyd is another top tier character because he was an Army Ranger,
Oh God.
combat Army Ranger with his own batch of stories. Like he's on the list of people that's like, yeah.
So I heard there was a concert at the Flat Earth convention, but they fell flat.
Moving on.
Click.
No, here's the funny thing is that all the flat earthers, all they agree on is that the Earth is flat, but they all have an incredibly wide range of different theories.
Oh man.
Oh,
What?
my favorite is that
The turtle or the elephants?
those are both combined.
Oh, okay. Or about Antarctica with a bunch of chain guns.
What?
Oh, don't you know that
Don't you
Australia
know that?
does?
Don't you know?
No.
Don't you know Australia doesn't actually exist? When people fly to Australia, they're just flying to like an island in I can't remember where.
An island in the Gulf of
like
Mexico or something
Madagascar
like
or something like that.
Yeah.
And they've hired all of these actors
But
to
you
be
can't-
Australians.
But like the thing is like, so you notice you can't get a flight to Antarctica, and if you get too close, you get shot down because the government's put a bunch of military there to prevent you from coming to the edge of the Earth. Welcome to Flat Earthers.
Well,
Yo, that's
I
actually
like-
kind of legit though.
I like the idea.
That's why you can't
of,
get flights there, man.
Getting a reality
No,
show.
they're expensive as fuck. Like
Yeah.
Gavin piped in on this shit on like Rooster Teeth. You can
Mhm.
get there, it just costs a lot, and it's only like once a year that you can get the flight.
Yeah, probably because of the winds and all that weather bullshit that happens with.
It's
Solar winds.
cold.
Yeah, well that too, and like you have to fucking account for the weather that's gonna affect the
Yeah,
plane
you
and
gotta
whatnot.
watch out for those horny penguins,
I
man.
think
You
there's only
get
been
these
Yes!
You
Yeah,
take
one
one.
person.
You take
Murderous penguins.
one step out
I think
of the
there's
plane.
only actually one person that actually has like an Antarctica citizenship technically. Because they were born in Antarctica.
Oh my god, I know what
Who
you're
the
talking about.
Wait.
fuck's making babies at the South
Wait.
Pole Station?
Well, there's nothing else to
Wait,
do.
no. More importantly, scientists have sex.
No, they're a jar baby.
Scientists are typically hornier than most average people.
It's a little fucking petri dish baby they conjured up
It's a
with,
jar baby.
with a fucking chicken egg and some
Wait-
sperm. It's a
wait a-
fucking homunculus.
Oh my god.
Way to fuck the dish, Karen.
Yo, you ever seen that video though?
Oh.
Okay, so there's a whole...
that freaks me the
Yeah,
fuck
okay.
out. It
Okay.
freaks me
So
the
there was
fuck
this
out.
dude who was like some weird Russian home scientist
Oh, God,
that
no.
took his own sperm in like a chicken egg that was on
Like he
fertilized,
injected it, yeah.
and he injected it with it, and it grew this like homunculus thing that was like this freaking big, and it like he was like trying to like just like do a little test on it, and it spit like this acid at him, and he just hits it.
Oh,
with
I
a
didn't see that. I
book.
just saw where it moved and he just flipped out. I
Yeah,
didn't
it
know
spit
that.
acid at him. That's why it
Oh.
moved, and it spit at him. So he hit it with his book, and he just pulls the thing away, and it's all this like blood all over the place. I'm like, what the fuck is
That
going?
shit.
Sounds like Russian
Freaks
That
me
parody.
the
shit you
fuck
find
out.
in YouTube at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how I found out.
I was no because the problem
There's
is
no other way to find it.
No,
I love it.
it started
not-
with a Russian bass though, because I was trying to find different hard bass tracks, and then it just eventually got to like simple history videos of like Russian science, and then it got to this fucker, and I'm just like, all right, dude had sex with a fucking chicken egg, and fuck that thing.
I love how it used to be. It's only at night the creeps come out. Now it's like only at 3 a.m. The crazy
3 a.m. on YouTube.
Dude, the crazy shit's coming out.
I'm surprised YouTube didn't take it down.
They probably did, or they
No,
haven't.
you can't.
Well, there's a lot of speculation behind whether or not it's actually like real or not. Like obviously,
Yeah.
there's gonna
Yeah.
be speculation.
Honestly, I think it could be some freak hybrid like that little thing is, but
I don't
but
know.
so usually cross species
It doesn't.
doesn't actually
Yeah.
Especially
work.
chicken and human.
That's too far.
That's like
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah, like horse and donkey, yes.
Yeah, but
Man and chimpanzee,
maybe.
maybe. Man and chicken,
Yeah, you're talking
That's
about like
right.
that's like
I've
Dr.
done it in
Moreau.
Minecraft.
you fucked a chicken in Minecraft.
Hell yeah. I made 2 of them kiss and then popped all the little
That's
chicken.
called breeding. That's called husbandry. That's like you putting your phallus in the cooch of a chicken.
So it is apparently.
Figure it out.
he had to
Yeah,
fluff it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's still like
My-
when you're like
But
When
you're
you're
freshman
lonely
year
on the farm.
well, freshman year in high school and like or whenever the fuck it came
Yeah,
out,
and
and
you're
it's
lonely.
3 a.m. in the morning,
YouTube
and you
never
see
leave
that kind of
anything.
shit. It's
Yeah.
well, it's just fucking weird. It's just creepy.
I don't know which part's more disturbing. That a dude decided it'd be fun to use his own man juice, or that he woke up one morning and was like, "Time to prank the internet with my semen. I better call Alexander for help."
Jesus Christ.
It just reminds me of the video when he was.
How far
I
have
don't-
we fallen?
Well, it's just like I don't care if it's real or not.
You know
It's just
what's
like
great?
it's still fucking weird. It's still fucking
Where are we
creepy.
going at?
We're at 2.5 hours right now, and that's probably the marker that Joe has. It takes about 2 hours to really get someone like to open up and to get to those good one-on-one conversations. And so right at 2.5 hours, we hit that point.
Where we learned about
And
a guy
now-
fucking a chicken egg.
No, we're learning about you watching it.
Yeah.
We're learning about you.
Okay, so the guy didn't have sex with it. It was just like it cut to
He
where it like
inseminated a chicken egg with his own.
yeah,
Yeah, and then he brought it to life, and
out of a petri dish.
yeah, and there we are with the homunculus going like, well,
Just hit it with a book.
smack it and put it in the snow and hope it dies in the freeze.
Oh, just like Russian parroting.
Baby, I love the way you move. That's one of my favorite music videos, actually.
Let's see.
Some Russian troll's gonna be offended.
What are you
and
doing?
Life is gonna be
Let me
ruined.
see if I actually still have it.
Have it?
Yeah.
What, did you like the video, or did you put it on a
I
playlist?
put,
of
it in
weird shit?
I put it in a save file,
You
yeah.
downloaded the video and put it in a save file, and you have it on your phone. Why is it on your phone? Because your phone is for things that you frequent pretty often.
Oh.
So do you just look at Pornhub and YouPorn and go, nah, bruh, I got a homunculus Russian chicken. That'll satisfy my pecker with its. He has no retort.
He's focused.
Put this on the list of things that I don't want to watch.
You're gonna watch it now,
Son of a
apparently.
bitch.
Yeah.
That's what I get for hosting.
Yeah.
Hey, let me invite
It's,
on.
it's give and take.
I don't know if take's the word. I think pounded is. Look at me. Visually pounded. Hello, you want to watch some ridiculous shit?
I don't even care if it's fake or not. Just like it's just fucking
Creepy to
Creepy.
watch.
It's weird.
It's like the first time you watched Paranormal Activity or whatnot.
Fucking hate that show.
The one was the one that had a reality TV vibe to it, but it was like
I know what you're
hauntings.
talking- I
and
never.
and then you watch
no
it and you
shit.
go, I don't know how they faked this, because you didn't know it.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
just think,
I
like,
don't
it's
know.
CGI.
I was never one.
So it's a
I
face
wasn't.
hugger.
I've never been a big like.
Horror fan.
Well, it's not even that. It's just TV. I never really watched TV that often.
Yeah.
I
no.
never really have like
Worse.
basically
Yeah,
since high
yeah.
school, YouTube's been my medium of
Yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah. No.
And then occasionally I watch movies, but
Yeah.
I never go out of my way to watch like horror genre shows, movies. I don't see the point. It doesn't interest me.
I
No,
watched
same.
the first one.
Oh, did we skip the hook part?
What is it called?
What, horror wise or?
No, that movie, the one that has like they're toting around a camera and they're recording themselves and everything.
Jackass?
Oh no,
Cloverfield?
Blair Witch Project.
That.
No, the other one, not the Poltergeist. Is it
Yeah, I
the
know it.
Poltergeist? The one that has like 3 of them, and like in the third one, there's a ghost that's walking around with a sheet over its head, and they think it's a girl, like their kid, and then it just collapses and there's nothing there.
The Ring?
No.
That's a movie. That's an actual movie.
Yeah, I got nothing for you.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I've just never been interested, and it's not the concept of getting scared. It's just I don't know. I just don't see the point in watching horror films. It's just not my thing.
People get a release from the scare because they know they're in a safe place too.
Paranormal
Yeah,
Activity.
I guess. And also like
I think we also do so well under pressure that we don't feel like being put into pressure situations or horror situations when we don't call for it, because we'll be super serious and get it done and kill the murderer right then.
right. And also the thing is, it's like there's so much. There's
Sidebars. Sort it out. Figure it out,
I will strike you.
dude.
You want to get striked?
Striked.
Swipey, no snipes.
Yeah.
Swiper, no swipey. Is this it?
Yes, this is it.
What the fuck? Is that it?
The
It's
slap.
like a worm.
That slapstick
Yeah.
of that whole scene.
Okay, that's way less than I thought it was gonna be.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, you
right.
thought it was like a full human.
No, like I said,
shit. No.
you have to
Okay,
preface.
Trent. Go.
What?
Focus is
sorry,
on you now. Shut the fuck up.
Focus on. Jesus Christ! Panic!
Little bitch.
The homunculus thing.
You sit on stage in front of probably
No.
hundreds of fucking drunk ass crazy white people more often than not every weekend, and you're getting pressured now.
No.
Sit the fuck down again.
No.
Figure it out, bud.
I don't even remember where we were, so that's great.
I just
don't know.
watched something get snapped by a book. That's where I'm at.
No, I was just saying, like, when you're looking at that kind of thing, like at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
like,
horror
like
stuff
when
and not being
it's just
interested
like,
in them.
It's just
Oh yeah. I was actually gonna chime in. Like sometimes I watch horror movies just for the art of it, especially now since
Well, horror is a great place to start too.
Exactly. It's just like they'll have their different styles of it, and with horror, there's a lot of thought put. Not all horror movies, but with like the ones that stand out, there's thought put into the art of it. There's thought put into every aspect of it, because when it comes to scaring the shit out of somebody,
You got to be good at it.
everything's important.
Yeah.
The sound is important. You gotta motivate where to put their eyes to, or where they should look at on the screen, and you wanna. And with the writing of it and the pacing of it, you want to set it up to where they don't know what's going on, and that what makes them scared and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like I think that's actually kind of my contention. No spoilers, but with Stranger Things, I love it, but it turned from more of a horror like it was in the first season.
First one, yeah.
To the second and third one, where it's more like a
Formulaic.
sitcom with suspense.
Yeah. It's
But I know what the enemy is, so therefore I'm not really scared for them. Plus,
yeah.
there might be some people who die, there might be some people who don't die, but it's like a Marvel movie. It's just like you might get one.
well, it's like
legitimate death.
suspense.
Well, it's one of
Suspense is a complete, like, to me, I guess. To clarify even further, it's like what I don't really care for are the movies that are the horror films, or like the quote unquote scary movies that are the only thing that they really do are like jump scares. Like there's no like.
Well, A Quiet Place was fantastic.
Yes.
And it only had like 2 jump scares in it.
That's what I've heard. I mean, but
But
that's also because
you're on edge for the rest of it.
Oh, the whole what was so great about watching, because me and Melanie went and watched it, because we were like, we actually want to see this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was such a great concept.
Yeah.
And Krasinski did great work
Mhm.
as both the lead
Just
and
for the trailers
director and
alone,
writing.
it looked great.
Yeah. So like the greatest thing about watching it in theaters is that everyone in the theater was dead quiet for like 90% of the movie, because like
Good.
like the opening to it entrenches you so hard,
Yeah.
because everyone's quiet. And what I love that people
I do like those heavy suspense like movies,
Yeah.
where you feel like the suspense like for the whole movie, like
Yeah.
right where you
Yeah,
you,
no,
you're just
for-
engaged completely.
for it you get one final release. You get two releases. One when there's yelling, when there's a very deliberate yell,
Yeah.
and then another at the very end, and it's like, and then there's like, you know, the two releases you get. Otherwise, the whole time, you're just waiting for something stupid to happen, like you know in life,
Yep.
where some sound's gonna go off, and these monsters are just gonna come tearing through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, it's like at the same time they don't show you what the monster is. So.
oh no, you're sitting there and you get to see it through the bushes a bit in the opening.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't get full views of it until it's like way intimate, and you're just like,
And for some reason, like a lot of these horror movies now, like they're going for the gross out factor. You see how fucked up this is, and it's just like.
Final
Well,
But
Destination movies.
you revealed who's.
well, that's where the It series that's done recently. I'm questioning how good that is, because the second It's getting very good reviews,
Yeah.
and this Joker is getting so fucking hyped, it's scaring me.
What
Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is getting such high reviews. I'm scared it's gonna flop when it actually hits theaters in October.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't, but it's
Like it looks like
it's looking good.
it's looking fucking good. Like
Yeah.
and
like,
he's calling, you know, no rivalry with Heath, but definitely Heath's spirit was like there. And it's like, well, you better not be pill popping because you'll be dead before it releases, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
Joker is
I come
huh?
to notice like
Again.
almost every memorable Joker isn't trying to compare themselves
No.
with the previous Jokers. Like with Heath Ledger, they weren't trying to be anything like
No,
Jack
no,
Nicholson.
Heath had an idea and went to Nolan and like, this is it, and like helped
Mhm.
work through it. Like listening to some of the interviews with Christopher Nolan or others that were around
Mhm.
the time when that was being made, it's like Heath had his own big ass process
Yeah.
of just narrowing that character down.
And Nolan
find-
greenlit that because he's like, I don't want it to be anything like, I don't want to compete with Jack Nicholson Joker because that's
No.
also another memorable performance.
Yeah.
And whenever he was doing his, he's not comparing himself to Cesar Romero, or not Cesar Romero, but whoever played
the funny one back in the day. The
the
silly
Adam
one.
West one.
Yeah, and then
that
you
was Cesar Romero.
and then you had
Was it?
yeah. And then what's his face that did the animated Joker?
Mark
Hamill's
Mark
Joker, which
Hamill's.
was a whole nother monster.
Yeah,
That
which
is a
is
whole nother
a whole nother.
monster.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you the one thing that freaked me out because I've been binge watching Gotham like nonstop. Is their Joker plays so well into Ledger's because it's supposed to be an origin for all the villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jerome, literally, like his tendencies, like his
He's imitating Heath's,
Yeah.
the precursors of Heath's Joker,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
but
And
he's
I was
doing it
like-
convincing.
very
Okay,
like
because
during,
Heath's.
I got into it. It's
The
pretty
best-
good,
yeah,
so I
like
need to
his
finish
is
that.
really damn good.
I think
but-
I want to say it because I've run through a bunch of I've been running through a bunch of stuff, but I think somewhere along the line, like I think Heath probably saw the first Batman or something like that, because Chris Nolan was trying to go for that very realistic Batman, which nailed it in Batman Begins and through it
Yep.
through the trilogy.
Yeah.
And I think Heath just kind of I think what I heard is that he saw what what Nolan did in the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and then just found this rabbit hole to dive into to like bring a real Joker into it, and the writing.
Something
and the,
that's convincing.
well, it's convincing, but it also just feeds so hard into just
He's
the
not.
nihilistic tendencies
Yeah.
of a madman, and
He's
just.
not trying to copy anybody that was there before.
No,
He's actually delving into actual
because he-
badness.
Well,
Yeah.
he's creating a Joker that you see and you go, I could see that in real life.
Well, he's also like fitting the Joker into like what you're saying
Into that world.
that was created for that particular
that
Batman.
hyper-realistic world.
Right.
Because that's what made it so real is that, like,
Yeah.
you know, Bruce Wayne wakes up with bruises, and they're having discussions about how to really do this. And you can't exactly bring in Mark Hamill's Joker or
No.
some of the silly things that happen with Jack Nicholson's Joker, like kill someone with a freaking quill pen.
No.
Some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching that as a kid. I was like, wait, did he just die? Like, and I'm a, you know, fucking kid.
Yeah.
So like
It's
Heath's Joker was
like he'll.
incredibly defining because it hit the hyperrealism so well and just was scary.
At the same time, he does hit the style of
Oh, he hit style.
the ridiculousness of it. Like, I'm going to kill a man with this pencil, or I'm going to make this pencil disappear. He does that shit. And
Well,
it's just
someone
like,
ran a whole breakdown of like that on because I'm finding a bunch of people on YouTube because of the Closer Look.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a lot of
That's
that
a
guy's.
good one, yeah.
Closer Look's got really good evaluation
Yep.
of stuff. He's really great. I want him to move him to the States just so he can have a better YouTube channel. But-
Seriously.
But there are other guys that do great review stuff like that. And one of them that I watched recently did that evaluation of the Joker and why he was such a great villain or something like that. And it's like the opening for the Joker, the first time you see the Joker establishes everything.
Yep.
Between his lethality, his how threatening he is, how viable he is.
They don't tell you about him. They show you what he
Yeah, it
is.
just shows you, which is great. That's what
Yeah.
makes certain. There's something that we watched recently, I think, to where there was no dialogue necessary. Everything was just displayed
Mm-hmm.
on the screen. It was
Yeah.
like,
And that's what
where's my soundboard?
Because that's what movies need to start doing again. Because I even noticed sometimes, even with some superhero films, that
Dairy Girls did a good visual thing. As much as she did have that final talk with what was the British kid's name? James. As much as she did have that final talk, Michelle had the final talk with James, which was a necessary thing. The visual play out of him driving with his mom, and then him just being there, and then we're like playing out the whole visual of like the whole crowd's there for Bill Clinton because nothing happens in fucking Derry because it's a small town in Derry, and there's been the fucking. If you want to watch really good historical fiction, watch the 2 seasons of Dairy Girls that are on Netflix because it's hilarious. Watch with subtitles so you actually start to grasp because it's pure Irish jargon. It's made by an Irish director and writer.
Yeah.
So it's all their vernacular. It's
Yeah.
all their stuff, and it's from the 90s. So like our music shows up, and Bill Clinton's like the president that shows up in like season 2 finale or whatnot.
Yep.
So like with the visual game of just showing the scene, showing faces, showing where the girls are looking versus where the crowd's looking, just shit like that.
I'll tell you who kind of let me down in that movie series, though. Was
What movie series?
For Dark Knight.
Okay.
Was
Dark Knight Returns? Or?
No, just Dark Knight. Was Two-Face. How they screwed over.
Well,
because here's the thing,
didn't they have to do that to him because Heath dies, and so they had to like curtail how they were going to go forward with it?
Yeah, I think that's how it.
In a way, yeah. I feel like they could have used him a little bit more.
Yeah.
At least going into this into the final movie.
Yeah.
Because Two-Face, was always a. So you have your A tier of your Batman villains.
Are we going ABCD or are we going S A B A B C D?
ABCD.
Okay, ABCD.
I don't do that S shit. Whatever. S tier my ass. But your A tier is literally, or tier 1. We'll go 1, 2, 3s.
Yeah.
So your tier 1 Batman villains are always going to be Joker, Penguin, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, Riddler, and
Bane.
Catwoman.
Yeah, Catwoman goes back and forth.
Bane will always be on the tier 2s.
Yeah.
Now the thing with,
but that has to do with prominence as well.
And the thing with Two-Face, he jumps back and forth on that line
on AB,
of
on 1, 2.
On the tier 1, tier 2 list, but he has always been a tier 1 villain to Robin. Because in different comic series, he killed the Graysons, he killed Jason Todd's parents, and those two, and he's always just hated the sidekicks. And so that's why those two Robins always went after him when he showed up.
Yeah.
And that's why Jason ended up going rogue on his own, was he wanted to kill Two-Face.
Yeah.
And that's why Bruce just let him go.
Yeah.
And, ended up saving Harvey and keeping him alive away from Jason.
Was that in the Red Hood?
That was Under the Red Hood, yeah.
Yeah, Under the Red Hood.
Wait, Two-Face was
under the
no, it was Black Skull.
No, Under the Red Hood, he does save
in the
Joker
comic series of it
from Jason.
Okay, they do refer to it though.
Yeah.
You're talking about the comic series, not
the
the
comic series doesn't. The show version of it,
the
Under
movie.
Red Hood.
There's a Red Hood movie.
Yeah, the Red Hood movie is Jason going after
Joker.
Yeah. The comic series
Oh,
shows
yeah.
Jason going after Two-Face first, and then going after Joker, and then going after the other villains.
Yeah.
Just killing them all.
Yeah.
And he gets, and in one part of it, I believe he gets away with killing Penguin. He gets away with killing Two-Face, Riddler, and Freeze.
Yeah.
and his last target was Joker.
Yeah.
Just to send the message. He never killed Catwoman because
Ambiguous.
Never, yeah.
She's an ambiguous villain.
Yeah. And that was something to me where I was always like, you know, they could have used him a little bit more, but that at the same time, how are you going to bring a Robin in?
Well, they were teasing to a Robin at the end of the third one.
They were.
Which
I don't. Which
they didn't need it.
No.
They didn't. But it made you hope for a fourth
Well,
one.
Yeah.
thematically it does tie in, because the idea of Batman, as they expressed in The Dark Knight Rises, is Batman is more... I don't want people just to rely on Batman. I want the idea to live on.
Well, that was from the first one as well. That was a permeating idea. Was that was that it's a concept, it's a symbol that will outlast.
I would argue that scene is needed because it's expressing the idea that Batman is just not me. It is through other people living that idea, and thus him about to become Robin is that idea. So,
it's an
granted,
idea that's gonna.
Does it look like it's promising a sequel? Yeah, absolutely. But with Christopher Nolan, he's not going to do another
Was
Batman.
Robin in the second one?
Robin was never brought in.
Robin's
never brought in the trilogy. She's only watched Batman Begins. I get to take her to this Batman.
Yeah,
I literally watched Batman Begins like
2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
The entire trilogy brings in Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, Bane, Two-Face, and Joker.
Yeah.
And Scarecrow.
Yes.
Scarecrow was the main baddie of one. And
More or less. With Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, with minor baddie of two.
Yeah.
The thing I love about Gotham is we get to see Jonathan Crane's dad.
Crane? Oh, Scarecrow's dad?
Yeah.
Oh.
Create the Scarecrow toxin, and he tests it on his son.
Solid.
And what they do, like, what he does with it is he injects his son with it, and it's in different phases, so the toxin just eventually builds up. And
he builds an immunity.
No. It becomes part of him.
Oh.
Where the Scarecrow toxin has done so much mental damage to John that all he sees are the scarecrows. Because his dad would inject him with him, throw him outside in the backyard, and there was just effigies of scarecrows all over the place, and the toxin would make them come to life.
Yeah.
And that's all Jonathan saw. And after they killed his dad had already injected him with the last phase of the toxin. So they put him into the hospital, and then they send him off to Arkham. And the last thing we see is from Jonathan's point of view, it's just scarecrows crawling all over his bed in the hospital, just ready to like rip him apart.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't pick back up until season 4, which I haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
But season 4, like from the promo of it, Scarecrow is one of the biggest baddies of that season.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm like,
yeah, I need to get into Gotham.
Yeah.
DC's done very well on its series, on its TV series.
I'm
Its
so
movies are
sad
good.
it ended though.
But
'cause
something that I am like a precedent that I am not necessarily excited but hopeful for is the precedent of the fact that
Wonder Woman and Aquaman weren't shit.
no, that R-rated superhero movies are viable.
Oh yeah, Deadpool.
Logan.
Ryan is the most important thing that's probably happened for the comic.
Right, but then they also had the Logan movie, which was
Logan.
So I mean, so like the fact that they were able to show that they are viable.
And I think it's because she only liked the traditional ideas. So seeing like Old Man Logan wasn't like on her list of things, and that's when that kind of spoke into like hot plastic, not really doing anything crazy with your life, graduated around when I did, say about my age. Yeah, you don't believe in dynamic growth.
shots fired.
Unfortunate.
Man down.
Moving on.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Wait, so I know I've watched it. You may have seen parts of it. Did anyone ever see the extended version of Deadpool 2?
No.
I haven't.
Oh god.
I haven't even seen Deadpool 2. I've seen the first. My mom saw Deadpool 2 without me.
So your mom's
And
a Christian?
she didn't see Deadpool 1 before it.
Oh my god.
She just went randomly with her
How
movie
do
club.
how do you
It's her movie club. It's a bunch of old biddies. They've
suck.
got about 3 brain cells between the 3 of them.
How do you not watch Deadpool 1, Logan, and then Deadpool 2? I want it.
I know.
But
I actually found someone that makes it. The music
You haven't
box.
watched Deadpool 2 yet, right?
No.
Okay, moving on. Yeah, you need to watch Deadpool 2.
But yeah, no, she saw it without me, and I was livid.
At this point, considering how much we don't have going on the rest of the day, maybe we'll just stay here and watch it.
Maybe. Depending on when my cousin wants to be back. That's where I'm living right now.
Why does your cousin want you back?
Because I have the key to his house.
He doesn't have a spare?
No, his way in and out of the house is the garage door.
And he needs a key still?
No, he just likes having that.
I'm confused. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know the logic.
It's my family.
You haven't gotten to get a copy of the key made?
No, not yet. I literally just moved in with him.
How long have you been there?
I got kicked out 3 days ago.
Okay. Forget to a week.
Oh yeah, well I'm off tomorrow. I don't know shit.
Rough.
And everything's open tomorrow.
Yeah. Why are they? Some things are open actually today.
Everything was preemptive with
Oh, yeah.
closing, so I'm just like, I'm waiting till the weekend to do shit.
Yeah. You are employed.
Down.
I heard the first time you did that, I was like, I bet it doesn't fuck with the audio, but probably.
Yeah. Sorry. That's why I keep on. I will keep on wanting to do it, but I'm.
Do they feel like guitar?
Welcome to a
strings?
musician.
Or is
No.
it just you just flicking with shit?
That actually comes across
A little bit of
really
both.
interesting because it's got such a deep reverberation to it.
A bit of both. Yeah. Sorry.
We started a thing.
Now that you brought attention to it.
Honey, you're helping. I don't even know if this is ruining any audio.
It probably is.
We're just fucking with the
Springs.
The springs that are on the mic
arms
stands,
of these
yeah.
mic arms.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Hold on, wait.
This is a podcast now.
It's not changed. And he dropped the mic.
Like you more or less dropped the mic right there, Evan.
And it wasn't, the tonality of it wasn't changing at all. Yeah.
I'm curious.
You
I'm
know-
a trumpet player. We have about 3 things going on in our head.
That's very true.
1, 2, and
Shut
3.
up, Flutie. No one can hear you.
You get us on Piccolo, you can't hear anything but us.
Yeah, you have to change instruments to be heard.
Yeah, you fucking suck.
He plays everything though, so y'all
I
can.
was never in band though.
Yeah, he plays everything.
Nah, the sousaphones were crazy. Do you remember how like tiny I was in band?
Still are.
No.
You haven't grown much.
I used to fit into size 8 children's shorts when I was still in college. So no, I'm not that tiny anymore.
Fuck off. Yeah, figure it out.
Sort it out.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
But they, you know how we did that swap instruments things?
Yeah, because the fucking baritones were bitches.
That's true too. But
Fucking pussies. Can hold their
I
goddamn
said, let me
instruments.
see if I can
Oopsie.
fit into a sousaphone. It literally
It
didn't.
worked.
No, it fell right off of me. It was a good thing they didn't let go of it, cause it didn't.
Died.
It didn't
work?
fit. It didn't.
Which one's the Susan? I don't even remember.
Sousaphone is
that-
the other version of the tuba,
Okay.
the round tuba
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Okay.
And
The New Orleans jazz tuba.
Actually,
yeah.
I just thought of something.
No.
Oh boy.
Well, so I actually had this ideal, or this dream of dreams, to actually have the premiere, the big launch of JHP, Jailhouse Parlor podcast, at this year's October annual. And considering this is on the list of beta testers, so this won't be a premiere podcast on the channel.
Yeah.
It'll just be there for like just teaser stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We can basically turn that giant, like, sit this thing down, have it running the whole damn party. Like, here's 30-minute intervals to just sit down and talk shit.
This is where you're going to be able to get your soundboard. And this is the podcast that you get all your soundboard.
No, I just need Evan here on a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you haven't done anything soundboard.
No,
wise,
I
except
have. I have.
Yeah,
Except for that.
Yeah.
I just started that, but that
Yeah.
I don't.
You've
do
done
that.
more than Tyler, though. So.
Yeah, I did not focus on sound at all.
Yeah.
So
The password is scrotum.
oh my.
No, your disappointed parent side doesn't come across very well.
I need to just get that on soundboard as well. I'm disappointed. Wrong button. Damn it!
Shit. Are they all that noise?
Okay, that's different.
Get bent.
when you have your soundboard, it's gonna be a day where I'm just gonna come in and replace
Every single song.
every
That would be
single last
amazing.
Oh
one.
my god, you know what you need on the soundboard? Sammy's squeak.
Need to get her in for another beta test.
Oh my god.
Kick.
No, remember we went there and we were
Yes.
we watched one movie or something like
We
that.
watched Singing in the Rain.
Oh
We
yeah,
watched
that was
Sing
your
It-
double day when she was still dating that jack off.
Billy?
No.
No.
What?
Sammy.
Oh, Sammy had a date?
Was it that same day, or am I thinking about a different day that you
You're
guys?
No, no,
thinking
no.
about a different
This is
day.
right before me and her got together the first time. Or
This
second
is-
time? First time.
First time.
First
This
time.
was the first time we were like hanging out with us being a couple.
Yeah, we went to
You were so cute and young and stupid. You're still stupid, but
I'm 27, motherfucker.
you're still stupid.
Stupidity does not have a limit of age.
Anyway.
Stupidity? You said stupidity, sir.
Clearly he
Does
falls
not
in
have
the
an age
bucket.
limit.
Anyway.
Clearly he falls in the
Anyway,
bucket.
back to that. We watched Dancing in the Rain, some of the YouTube stuff or whatnot. But then, but it was Brittany, Billy, Billy and Sammy's dad. Mom was in the background being herself, and Sammy was there. So Sammy, Billy, Brittany, and then
Oh,
us
that's when
two.
Brittany and Billy started dating too.
Yeah, I think they were still together at the time or whatnot. But we got to a certain point.
That's old.
We got to a certain point in my quipping that I had Melanie and Sammy like squeaking, and I could just do it on call on each one because they were on such a roll. I was like, and one, and two. Like it was great back and forth. Like
an
you need to
orchestrator.
like, and Billy and Sammy's dad is like on my list of guests for sure because when he's on he's such a gem.
He's on point.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
but they were both like everyone there was like just confounded at everyone was laughing their asses off outside of the two squeakers. Like they're like, we hate you. Yeah, it's so great.
That just reminds me of home at last year. I was in a bar because I just got tired of walking around, and I was in a bar like.
I was tired of walking, so I found me a bar.
I was in a bar not because I wanted a drink. I was just tired.
Oh no, I drank. No, but I was cosplaying as Arthur Morgan anyway, so fuck it, it works. And Billy came in his Torbjorn cosplay, and his dad came along, and the waitress was asking, "Oh, what's your costume?" And Billy was like over-explaining as he does, and his dad he sighs, he puts his hand on his shoulder, he's like, "It's a video game character." Just sympathizing, because it's like.
You gotta love when your dad's better at talking to the hot waitress than you.
Yeah, because Billy's like over-explaining it, and it's just
And
like.
my dad is
Dude.
that guy.
Billy's dad has swagger. I don't care what
He
anybody
does.
says.
That's why he has that much facial hair.
His dad is a badass.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
he can
See,
walk into a place, snap
wasn't
his
his
fingers,
dad-
panties drop, and it's like.
His dad was supposed to come
Well,
last year, but couldn't.
wasn't
I
his
think.
dad the one that basically got them the connection with all of the people at Hamburger Mary's?
Yeah,
Maybe?
I think actually you're right. He's the one that finds the weird people, and then his now ex-wife takes them away.
Yeah.
That about fits. She's on the list of miserable. right
Robin
next
is as Robin does.
Yeah, miserable, and then insert your fuck it.
Insert your fuck it.
Insert the noun there. Yeah, no, he's on the list for sure because he's a top tier general. I think was it last year that there was a passing in the family and they couldn't come or something like that, or was it 2 years ago?
Yes.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago when
What?
they lost
Granddad or something like
Granddad.
that? Yeah.
That was fun.
Trying to get in there. We luckily finally got some adults there though, because last year we had Carlos and Amy,
That was fantastic.
the guy with the bionic arm.
Boy, have I got something to fucking tell you about Amy.
Oh, have you worked with her?
Yeah, she's my
Oh, yeah, you're at the
she's
same
my
store.
deli manager.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I worked with her a couple times
this
when I was in
crazy
grocery.
woman. I love her to death. I really do.
Oh, she's
So
fantastic.
she was in charge. So tomorrow night is game night for the store. So they're having like consoles brought in and everything. And we're doing
Wow.
Where is
Yeah.
this?
Wow.
At my
Publix.
Publix.
Wow.
Okay.
I hate you.
So
6 years.
No, so
I
here's
go
the
to
thing.
Rainbow River once, and I see only like one of the two hot girls I want to see in bikinis.
we get game nights.
You get game nights where you get to go in and trash on noobs. Be like,
Yeah,
bag
I do.
more, bitch.
Yeah, I do. So the funniest thing was she made the whole sign. I don't even want to get into the topic of the fucking controller that she drew on the thing because it looks like a homunculus of a Genesis and a PlayStation controller.
Oh.
Had a child that looks like a dog bone.
Made of chicken.
Made a chicken and hit it with
Buck
a book.
beef.
Buck beef.
And she's like putting all the game like titles all over the place. 2K, Zelda, Mario Kart, Mortal Kombat. She spelled Mario Kart and Mortal Kombat with C's.
You know what the thing about Amy is? She's not a gamer, if I could guess correctly.
Oh no!
Carlos
you know
is.
what? No, you know what her excuse was when I finally confronted her about it after that sign's been up for 2 weeks.
What?
Because somebody wrote over on both of them with K's, and I'm like, that person's a fucking hero. First off.
Fucking D-Gen.
And I was like, so Amy, you know I love you. And she's like, oh great, all the good ones start like that. What did I do this time? And I was like, look at that game night sign over there. I think it's fantastic. Why are Mario Kart and Mortal Kombat spelled with C's instead of K's like they're supposed to? And she's like, you know what? I'm a nerd. Leave me alone. I'm like, madam, you are not if you think they're spelled that way. And she's like, I understand the Mortal Kombat one, but the kart one, get off my ass. I'm like, no, ma'am. It is Mario Kart. I like a cart, please. K.
No.
Kart. God damn it.
You want Mario Sart?
So she's just going off about it, and like, and
The thing is, you didn't get to meet her brother, John, my grocery manager.
I was so like, I was taken aback by the next part because like, because it got back to I think I told you this story earlier today. It was my meat manager, the assistant deli manager.
Oh, having the voices all day?
Yeah. And so it was later on, and I was just
Gay
like,
voices.
they were like,
the gay voices.
yeah, they were like, oh my God, we're unloading the frozen truck. I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, I've never wanted to kill myself more than just right now, Hunter. And he looks at me without missing a beat. He's like, do it, you fucking pussy. And I'm like, what? 30 minutes pass. He comes up to me, he's like, Evan, I do want you to know, though, like, if you ever do have those thoughts, like, please talk to someone. Like, I don't want to, be the cause of that sort of thing happening. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I'm like, you're just kissing my dick because HR moved in upstairs, aren't you? Because out of context, our district manager, our regional manager, our HR manager, any of them walk in and hear that, his career's done. It doesn't matter the context, joking or not, he's a goner. And I'm just like, no, it's fine. I'll let Nicola know the next time she comes in. Do it, you fucking pussy.
God damn.
But, oh my God. I love him to death, though. And then we have Tony as our assistant meat manager. He's all shit.
Oh, wait, Tony? The Italian dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking load.
He's got this as a tattoo on the back of his fucking leg.
Not surprised.
Meat
He's one
manager,
with the kid, right?
Load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Young,
kid's in our...
young, right?
Yeah, his
Yeah,
kid went
I
to our
worked with him for a
kickball
while.
game and beat the shit out of our assistant manager. Like,
No.
kid's a monster.
Yeah, Tony's pretty... He's a common sense kind of guy, for sure.
You're welcome.
I don't want it.
Fuck you, you got it now.
It's mine already.
I have much diabetes in my life.
Alright, so we're at 3
We're
hours and 5 minutes.
Really?
Yes,
Perfect. Oh,
it's been
shit.
3 hours and 5 minutes. So
Oh,
this
time to get on to the topic of pornography. Anyway.
What's that?
Pornography?
we'll close out.
So, anyone ever jerk off to pictures of your young dad? Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat
That's
down.
Evan talking about masturbating to pictures of his younger father.
No, so
I'm Aaron. What are you doing?
Tyler, what are you
finding,
doing?
I'm finding.
I don't know.
His cord?
Yeah.
I have to get tape on these so I can paint them better. You are. Let's go around and just get the table names. Aaron.
Melanie.
Trent.
Evan.
Tyler.
Cool. This has been the first beta test for the JHP podcast.
Probably should do the names of first, like the very first.
No
name.
fucking shit, asswipe.
Sort yourself out.
Alright. So there's the first beta test. You know you named Publix.
Yeah.
You named Publix and you named the first name of your manager.
Will you just plop those?
Well, we're hoping that they don't find that in the 3 hours and then reference it over.
It's not
Leave
like
it.
It's not like they would know.
Leave it.
I'm playing with that.
Okay. I was like,
No, it's not like they would know.
yeah.
They're not that smart.
No. Because I'll probably just unplug from here and move my mixer back. over.
Fucking morons.
So yeah, now I gotta figure out my next beta test.
It's still recording.
And you want to be here for all of them, do you?
If it's not when I'm on work, yeah.
Okay, it's the only piece.
Correct.
That's the the only thing I didn't plan for with this. I was like, yeah, I just need to get my 3. I was like, hey, we're gonna do this, and you were like, I'm gonna be involved. And I went, you are?
What the fuck do you expect me to do for 4 hours?
Correctus.
What was it that the bartender did?
Masturbate.
Rub one out
Pictures of his
to the baseball highlights.
What the fuck?
Wait, what?
Is the bartender Letterkenny?
Oh yeah,
better than
fucking
sitting-
Gail.
It's better than sitting at home rubbing it out to baseball highlights.
Gail is the only reason my mom hates Letterkenny.
Really?
Well, because she's so
I
grotesque.
understand why though. Like,
Like, I don't like Gail either, but I ignore it.
my mom.
Oh, it's
she
fantastic.
She sits on Gail's part. Like, she loves everything else. She loves Dan. She's like, you need to get overall so you can do a Dan cosplay. I'm like, I'm gonna grow this out. Fuck it.
That guy, that actor as a comedian is really
Oh yeah,
funny
no, his
too.
stand-up is so good.
Did you see
Dan
his
has stand-up?
Yeah,
his
he does.
Solid.
Did you
Is
see his
Dan the
Captain Crunch
leprechaun?
one?
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Canada.
Dan's the leprechaun?
No, he became the leprechaun guy.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Squirrely Dan.
Squirrely Dan, okay. Because I
Captain
thought you were
Crunch.
talking
He
about
did
the
about
other dude.
10% off
Canada
of
has
Squirrely Dan.
3
Your sister's
President.
hot.
variants of that.
Too fat to be running.
Too fat to run.
How are we gonna break it to the morons tonight about what we did?
What was the name of the dude that...
Dairy?
No, not Derry. Fucking the one that I hate. The one that comes out and says, "How you doing?"
Oh, Mr. McMurray?
Yes,
Murray.
I fucking hate him.
Yeah,
Murray,
I'm
how
not
are you
His
now?
wife.
I'm not a fan of him.
I hate him
Or
too.
his wife.
Yeah, he's an
Wait till
annoying
you get
shit.
to season 3.
Yeah, he's an annoying piece of shit.
I think that's.
McMurray, how are you now?
Oh, I'm good.
Everyone
Good.
has watched Letter.
Good.
No, you haven't watched
God
Letterkenny
damn
yet.
it, McMurray, we don't have time for this. There's one episode that he just goes off and he gets out of the truck with his wife. It's the Canada Gooses episode. Where he's just like, McMurray, how are you now? Now finding you. We ain't got time for this shit. Wayne, there's a problem. I'm like, he references the whole issue
Yes.
of them talking over each other. He's just like, we ain't got time. There's a problem. And I'm like, fuck. The one redeeming quality of him, like, it's so good. Like,
What's
season
called?
3 is a turnaround for
Mine?
McMurray.
Yeah.
Season 1 and 2 for McMurray was like,
Yeah, I don't actually watch Letterkenny in chronological order.
oh, I have to.
Yeah.
I'm that guy, I have to.
Yeah, I pop in and out of it.
How are you now?
Oh, it's still recording. Just a bunch of empty
fuck.
space.
Well, here's.
Well,
Oh, wait,
it's been going
it's
through
all-
your headset.
It is, yeah.
Fuck.